Hey guys, this is Ruben Langdon, aka Dante from Devil May Cry, aka Ken Masters from Street Fighter, and also Chris Redfield from the Resident Evil series. And you are listening to the Kasanova podcast, the #1 podcast in Hawaii. Jackpot.
All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast and the #1 podcast in the Pacific, the Kasanova podcast. I'm your host, Mikhail Kasanova, and I got the honor and privilege of having my good friend, the one, the only, Jim, aka Backyardis. Jim, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Every time I come on, the intro gets better, so I'm going to keep coming. The world's best, greatest, yeah.
Hey, own it. Good, rock with it.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I'm good. My sleep schedule has been fucked this week royally. I swear. It's like I'll give you a brief rundown of everything that's going on. So just got partnered with StreamYard, the service that we're using now. Had no idea that was going to happen. They just like emailed me, "Hey, we made you a partner." I'm like, "Yay, I didn't apply for it, but I
didn't know it was a thing." Hey.
Right. So that happened. Constantly running around for stuff for the baby. So we got till mid-March when she's giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
So running around doing stuff with that. Then just prepping the house, trying to we need to do a registry. People keep saying like, but actually no. People, it's funny because I think more people on Twitter know that we're having a kid than people that we know in our personal life. Like our parents know, but like none of our other family or IRL friends, they don't know. I'm over here like, yeah, I don't talk to them anyway. But yeah, just that. And then just trying to, I've been focusing more on podcasting this week. Putting out stuff, recording on it. And I think some of my audience may dislike that because they're like, "Oh, where are your reviews? Where's your this stuff? Where's that?" And I'm like, well, if I get a guess and there's a time frame that they're available, that's kind of a priority for me.
I would have thought with the review stuff, I mean, unless you're interested in a product, like, how do you find it with, you do reviews for all sorts of things, but do you have an audience of people who just like looking at random reviews, or, is it people who search for it because they're interested in that product?
I actually, if I'm going by my analytics on YouTube and on my website, it seems like people only come for certain hot ticket items. Like if it's AAA, of course, I'm going to get traffic for that. Or if it's certain products, like if it's anything Nintendo Switch or this thing that's not even out yet, which will be out. It's like a fully customizable, like elite style controller for the Switch. People will show up. They'll check that out. Anything else is like, no. But typically, I used to review just about anything. Like when it came to like gaming, I'd take indie games or AA games. Like I was just like, I'll review anything. And as the years have gone on, I'm like, I don't want to review that. If it's AAA, I'll review it. If they send it to me, and if I'm interested in it, I'll cover it. If not, I'm not going to waste my time.
You end up getting overwhelmed. There's so many, you get so many keys. It's like nonstop. You get overwhelmed with it. It's just way too many.
Like, does your email inbox gets flooded?
Yeah. And look, I try and read everything, and at least but some of them aren't really given in a way. Like, I'll give you an example. I had one just the other day. It was an email with a list of something like 40 games. Now, I'm sure from their perspective, they thought this was a really cool idea, but it was a list of 40 games and then just their names. And then I'm pretty sure there was a link to the Steam store or whatever. And it was like, let me know if you want a key for any of these. I don't have time to go through 40 links I have no idea what any of these are. They're not all obscure games, right? I'm sure they're great, but I don't have time to click on all these and then go, if you want somebody to look at your thing, you need to be concise. You know that you got to do some research, right? Give me a quick. If somebody sends an email with a YouTube trailer for the game and a key, so here's a key. I don't have to go back to them. So here's a key. Here's a trailer. Have a look. Play it if you want. If that's the sort of thing they're going for, great. You know, then I can at least see if it's something that I'd want to play. But yeah, I'm not going to go through a list of 40 links and spend an hour going, yeah, I don't want any of those, you know?
Yeah. And then you get the ones that just like, they're desperate for any coverage and they'll just they'll throw you like a crap ton of keys. Like they'll be like, oh, cover this game, cover it. Like I've had some games that, like today alone, I think I had like 4 keys sent to me for games that I wouldn't touch, even if I had to pay for it. I'm like, no. And it's like I emailed them back because I know some people will just ignore them, but like I emailed them back and I said, like, look, I have no interest in this.
Yeah. But it gets to a point where you can't email them all back. You know, you're spending so much time just responding. So, you know, I like the ones where they'll go, oh, we want to pay you to stream it, like a sponsored stream.
Yeah.
Then you go, cool. And then you find out what rate it is. And the rate is, you know, just really, really poor. And then you say, no, thanks. This deal isn't for me. And then cool. The next day you get like the keys and say, oh, you can play it for free now. It's like, hold on a second. How's that work? You know? I know, right? Yeah.
It's wild. And that's the other thing too, is like with the sponsored streams. Like, have you ever had like people showing up in sponsored streams, like trying to like start shit with you, saying like, oh, they're just paying you to stream this? Well, damn right they are. Yes, I'm getting paid to stream this. I'm not getting paid to tell you I like it. I mean, I like it, but yeah, I mean, okay, so that's so I'm rambling. That's so much you can talk about. Okay, guys. So for you all there watching and listening, shout out to Firefighter 2021. How you doing? We have a couple topics we're going to dive into today. We're going to dive into the growing pains of the DMCA, since everyone's losing their goddamn mind about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, I mean, we can talk about the Google Stadia guy. Because
we've got to touch on that, surely.
So we can touch on that. Then we're going to touch on the basically as a content creator, streamer, the knowing your value, because companies will come to you saying, hey, here's a sponsorship, but it's technically an affiliate. So understanding your value of your time, your brand, your worth, and not being manipulated by companies, because they will, if they can, they will. And then we're going to talk about Jim and his partnership as a Sea of Thieves partner. That's exciting.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. All right. So, yeah, dude, let's dive in.
That's the only reason I got this beard. It's marketing for Sea of Thieves. Carry on.
Let's go ahead and dive into it. So the DMCA situation, for those of you who don't know, that's basically been hitting Twitch really hard. So if you're using any type of copyrighted music, you're getting, I think they sent out an email notification that you need to take it down within like a certain time frame. And if you don't do that, then, you know, of course they can pursue legal action against you. And so it seems like there is a wave of entitlement. It seems like people feeling like that they have the right to use copyrighted music, which is interesting.
There's a bit of nuance to it though. So there's a couple points. So firstly, so let me give you my side of what I understand the situation to be, right? So we've got 3 months ago now, 2 months ago, whatever, a few months ago, some of the record labels or you know, rights holders, whatever they were, for music, went through and automated a system where they would go through clips and VODs and were pretty much like YouTube's auto detection type thing, would detect music and then they would issue DMCA strikes, right? So Twitch is in the middle there and they have to deal with it. Unlike YouTube, who has an automatic system which will flag you before somebody comes in, right? And will say, right, this is, you know, infringing, and you've got options then. Twitch doesn't have anything like that. At best, they had the muting of VODs. So after that, that was like a few months ago. There was, the writing was on the wall, has been forever, that people been flaunting it a little bit. People went through and deleted their VODs and deleted their clips and said, all right, I'm not going to use any music again. We're good. I'll use, either music that we've got the rights for or DMCA free, whatever you want to call it. Things like Pretzel Rock. I think there's Monster or something or other. Anyway, there's a few different services that have licensed music that you can use. So people were using that, myself included. All right, that was done. It was annoying and pain in the butt, but we've moved on. When was it? Thursday morning, like 5 in the morning. I was still up for some stupid reason. 5 in the morning, I get an email from Twitter, and this is the one that you've seen copied and pasted in different chunks across on Twitter. Sorry, from Twitch, I meant. And it pretty much said that we've detected something on your channel, right? That is the long and short of it is we've taken it upon ourselves to delete the item. No mention of what the item was, and that consider this the warning, and there won't be another warning. Next one we'll go through the process. So for someone like me who went through prior and had deleted all my VODs, had deleted all my clips, to then get this, it's like, well, hold on a second, because I don't use any copyright music. So what the hell are you, what's the warning on? There was no mention of any specifics. So that's where the problem is from my perspective. So I ended up reaching out in the back end to the Twitch partners. We got a Discord and whatnot. Anyway, to try and get some clarity. What the hell's going on? Because I don't have any content that could be flagged. I had, but that's all gone. It's been gone for months. So what is this email today? And now, if you read it a certain way, pretty much they told me that if you were flagged in that initial batch months ago, they stopped the process of automating, of giving the strikes. They just said, all right, they stopped it and paused it. And this is sort of a flaw. And they turned that valve on effectively and said, this is just a warning, yada, yada, based on that old stuff. So it's not based on any new stuff. Now, I'm just taking that off a message out of Discord from one of the Twitch staff, but that's not official. The email didn't tell me what they could have had something wrong with, I don't know what, anything in the last 4 months when I think I've been okay. So I'm taking no action at this point because I already took the action and I don't have any specific to say, yeah, this is actually infringing. So it very well could be, and I could be screwed, but I don't know. So that's the landscape of where we are today. But now you have people losing their freaking marbles about, like you say, the writing's been on the wall for months and for years that, you can't do this. We all know you couldn't do it, but, whatever, we're just going to get away with it. But now people are sort of, now that it's coming home, they're freaking out that they won't be able to use any music at all. And that's where, like you were saying about that entitlement, but you just got to move on. I mean, I get it. If you're doing games or you're doing DJ sets, then you're in trouble, right? And you got a legitimate right, but that's a problem. But for everyone else, like here, if we had just music playing in the background, well, that music couldn't be, mainstream copyright music, because right. So that's just the way it is. That's the rules, too bad. So people are losing their crap. And I think, and the people who are losing it, they're not losing it because they're the DJs and they're the ones who are playing dance, whatever, with actual songs. It's the people who are playing games, but they have Spotify playing in the background. So just turn off Spotify and move on.
So I think that's where I'm stuck trying to figure out, why is it so hard to do?
I think for the longest time now, I'd been not having music during gameplay. And the reason I'd stopped doing that anyway before all this kicked off was because if I wanted to grab any highlight of gameplay, I know that YouTube's going to be very strict on it. So I just didn't. I'd always have in-game, whatever the normal audio in the game is. So I've been doing that for a very long time. But when I transitioned and turned that off, it's a different feel, and you know, people get used to having that music in the background, I think, and so they're freaking out because it's like dead silent. They have to fill in the void. They can't just sing along, right? They have to work now, and that's why I put a tweet out yesterday. I said, if your content relies on that music, that's the hook. That's what people are coming for. You need to do better because, you know, if that's it, if without that your whole thing is ruined, you know, as background music, not again as a DJ or something. Then you're in trouble, right? Your content isn't all that good if that is what holds it together.
Yeah. That's and it's just one of those things where it's like when it comes to DMCA, like that I've heard a lot of people, especially on the YouTube side, like over the last several years, like a lot of people have said like the DMCA laws are grossly outdated. They need to be updated. They need revision. But I'm just wondering, like, who's gonna spearhead that change?
No one. No one. You know, you think about it. It's the record industry, the music industry. They're very much old school mentality, right? Yeah. They don't realize the potential that streaming brings. And this will cut into what that other peanut said from Stadia. They don't realize the potential of what streaming does. The amount of my favorite band right now, I had no idea they existed. They've been out forever. I had no idea they existed. I found them from somebody else's stream, right? And I would never have found them. There's no mechanism for me to go find music. What am I going to do? Go to a record store and flick through albums? It doesn't happen, right? So my favorite band now that I've bought albums and I've bought, you know, actual vinyl and all that stuff for was because I heard them in another stream, right? And that happens on scale across the board. So bands are being introduced to listeners as a result of streams. But the record company is too old school to think how they can capitalize on that. I mean, in and of itself, that is promotion and that is worth something. You know, people are buying their stuff because of it. But they're just too stubborn. It's like they're not thinking. They go, well, we've got a mechanism. We've got the rights. You can't touch it. Get lost. And they're just very old school. And until, I don't know what's going to change, if anything. It's going to be stuck like that. And we're going to have these sort of problems going forward. There's no champion of it. And I don't know, there's no counter industry champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it seems like it goes back to what you said. Like it's these old archaic, you know, mentalities that the, you know, music industry, movie industry as well, you know, they have this mentality towards streaming. They don't understand how big of an opportunity it is, how vast they can reach. And I think it kind of goes back to like just traditional media versus new wave. They don't understand what we have now, and they're not trying to understand. And they're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to promote this in theaters, and I'm going to promote this in newspapers and all this other stuff, or, you know, websites. And it's like, okay, look, the way people are now, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're, well, I guess Facebook ish.
Yeah.
But, you know, like they're on these different sites, these different apps, and people's attention spans now are just short. You don't have the time to try and promote something with a minute or two or three. Yeah. You've got 30 seconds to get somebody's attention, if not 10 seconds. And so if they were to just stop this nonsense with trying to claim everything and work with these industries, work with Twitch, work with YouTube, Facebook gaming, whatever, these streaming outlets, Spotify, there is opportunity for tremendous potential for making money for everybody. Yeah. Yeah. But then you got people like the Stadia guy.
Yeah. So if those who don't know, the Stadia guy, it turns out he's not actually from Google Stadia type. He's a what is he? A lead something or other for a studio that does things for Stadia, as in they make games on Stadia. something like that. He's not part of Stadia. So he changed his Twitter. I think he just had it sounded better to say lead director or whatever of Stadia. It sounded better, but now he's since changed it to be more accurate.
He did it super quickly.
Yeah. So anyway, he said, what do you say on Twitter yesterday? He came out and goes, again, based on the whole discussion of the music and DMCA and all that, he said, so like streamers should be more concerned that game developers will ask for a license fee for them to play their games on stream. Man, shut up. Like, at the end of the day, that's some dumbass's opinion and it's a stupid take, right? It's not representative of nothing, of anything. It's just his stupid ass opinion. And he got way more traction than he ought to have. That was more like, whatever, buddy, pat him on the head and say, shut up. And then that should have been the end of it. But think about it. As if streamers are going to pay a license to play a game that they are effectively promoting flat out and, making the sales as a result. Look at Among Us. Among Us, a game that's 2 years old. Where's that without streamers? It was 2 years and then a streamer picked it up and now it's huge. They've changed the whole direction development cycle of the game. They were going to make an Among Us 2, but they said, no, we're going to just build on this now. They've changed in the whole way they do business as a result of a streamer, right? Guy's an idiot. Right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It blew my mind when he said that because it's like, there's a part of me is like, okay, maybe he's trying to say something else. And then I kept reading the thread and he kept going and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. Yeah. And then much later on, then he tries to play victim. And he tries to change the narrative. Saying, I was just trying to say this. Da 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 da.
What he was trying to say. What a liar. Everyone does that. Once they get called out, no, that's not what I meant. I was just joking. Shut up. And then how'd it turn out? He's ended up, I think his Twitter banner was stolen from some streamer or something. Like it was the whole thing. It's like, and then didn't he say after that I'm going to go stream some Fall Guys?
Yeah, he did.
Oh god, yeah, that was just a really bad take.
It was terrible, and it's like, and the thing is, I feel bad for Google Stadia because I feel like they took a hit because of him.
Correct, yeah, and I bet you that's why he changed his title, his banner on Twitter, quick smart, because they said if you don't change this, mate, you won't be anything with Stadia, because they were copping all the flack because everyone was then equating a stupid take like that to Stadia, which is, it's not exactly a booming platform.
Yeah.
And so they were like, man, we don't need any negative publicity now. So this is, and especially it wasn't them. They were quick to set the record straight on that one. Unbelievable.
No, and it's it really, going back to what you said about like it should not have caught as much traction as it did, and it really shouldn't have. Yeah. Seeing how literally everybody in the gaming industry, the streamers, literally everyone jumped on it, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, he says something stupid, don't platform him, stop platforming him.
Yeah,
but let's say Firefighter 2021 says, what is Jim's thoughts on cloud gaming compared to offline gaming? Good point.
I don't. Here in Australia, we got big latency problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
And cloud gaming, latency, is the killer of it. But if they get the tech right, which I don't know, I haven't tried Stadia, but people I've talked to say they pretty much have. It's all about the model, right? So the Stadia model is terrible. What's the model? You got to buy a subscription to Stadia. You got to buy the hardware, right? You got to have the controller and the right, and then you got to buy the games. And I don't own the games, and if they go under, which they very well could, well, not under, but like they cancel the thing entirely, then I've got a controller that's pointless. I've paid for games that I no longer have, right? So the model of how it's done is super important. I think the Amazon's thing, Luna, is it called?
Yeah.
That just launched, and apparently that's just pretty much a Netflix. You pay a subscription, you play your games. I mean, you're competing now with like some of the best deals in gaming, like Xbox Game Pass. I don't even have an Xbox, but that thing is great. You get so many games for such a small fee. And you can play them on PC, you can play them on your Xbox if you got one. So you're competing against that sort of thing, you know, and I don't really care. Most people have a PC because they need it for other things. So I don't, you know, I believe there's always a place for the local PC as opposed to just streaming everything, because I'm going to need that sort of horsepower for other things. So it's not something I'd ever take on, you know, a streaming service. Doesn't seem right for me. But there are people who can't afford a PC, can't afford a console. But then you go, well, if you're going to pay for the subscription, the games, this and that, you don't really own them. Does it really add up at the end of the day? So it all depends.
Yeah. And for me, as far as like, you know, Hawaii has really, you know, our internet is not that great out here. We just got, was it 1 gig internet like a year ago, and it's still spotty. It's barely around. So you're lucky if you can get, I think the most common thing around is like, you know, maybe 35, 50. That's the most common on most islands. Most other, I think, Molokai and Hawaii or Big Island, theirs is typically about 15, maybe 10 or 15 megs. So right now, like what I have with fiber optics, you can only have that if you have a house, and it's very, very, very limited. But even with that, like cloud gaming with my router, I've got a pretty decent router. I have to sit next to my router because of the latency. Yeah. So it's like, in this whole idea, like some people are like, oh yeah, with 5G, I'm like, I'm not really sold on 5G. I don't think gaming is going to be that much quicker wirelessly. And like you said, you don't own anything. All these services can go under like that. I see Luna from Amazon probably having a little bit longer longevity than Google Stadia, because Stadia has had it's been out, what, a year and a half? And it's been just
nothing. It's just nothing. Yeah, it really is. You know, because it's a stupid model. I mean, if you want to give me, if we're going to stream a game, right, then I'll pay you your $5 or whatever a month, and then I'll stream whatever game you've got available. Or, you know, give me the game and then I have the game. You know, you can't have it both. They're doing both. It doesn't make sense, you know. So
yeah, it really doesn't. And you know, since with Xbox Game Pass, now I have an Xbox, but I rarely play my games on my Xbox because I got a pretty nice rig, and I can take advantage of that. And it's
you've been working out. You got a decent rig. Come on.
You know.
Yeah, you missed it.
But like a lot of people, and it's crazy because a lot of people have been very upset with Game Pass or they dislike it. And usually it's the whole console fanboy.
Yeah,
that's dumb shit.
It's noise. Yeah.
And it's like some people think like Game Pass is not good because it's dangerous for the future of gaming. I'm like, no, it's just choice. Because I look at Game Pass, and I've always explained this to people who may have kids, you know, or to people who don't have kids, be like, hey, if you're a parent, you buy a console for a kid, you're trying to figure out what game do I give my kid. Or you can get Game Pass, access to over 100 games, there you are. Or you say you don't have kids, you just want to get a console for yourself, or you've got a PC, you don't know what games you want to get, you don't want to buy an Xbox, but you want to try out a bunch of games. You can do a 1 month subscription or a trial, a 15-day, 14-day trial to Game Pass. You got 100 games you can download to your PC and play right now. That's amazing.
It's a really good deal. I'm not huge on that sort of stuff, but I even look at that and go, man, you can't pass it up. It's pretty solid, you know. Because now that they got Bethesda as well, and all their games coming on board, that's huge. Yeah. Right. So it's just the offer's getting better and better. So, and the fact that you can play them on PC and on a console, Crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And you
truly
get
insane.
you can get your first month for $1 or something if you haven't done it before.
Mhm.
Pretty much, they've always got that first introductory offer. $1 for a month. Come on. Feel like we're doing ads for Microsoft here, but
I know, right? Microsoft.
tell you
pay
what,
us.
let's even it out. Screw Microsoft, they suck. There you go. Now it's even. Balance. There you go.
No, and what's the other thing you can do with it? Like, so with Game Pass, you can play it on your phone. If you're into mobile gaming,
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Yeah.
It's like if you're able to do that, like I'm able to do it if I sit in this room and I'm next to my router, I can do it just because Wi-Fi is spotty in my house.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I'm like, it's cool, but is it something I'm gonna want to do when when the other alternative is I can just sit here, play on my PC or play on my Xbox? No. So I don't know. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's the argument I make with consoles. I've never been a console player. I had a PS3. I bought an Xbox One S. I bought it for a 4K Blu-ray player. I didn't buy it. Then I ended up. The only reason I ever used it for gaming was because I got a sponsored stream for an Xbox thing. But that argument holds, right? I'm not going to go and sit on the couch and play on the PlayStation when I've got a massive PC here that can do anything I want. Like this is where I game, not but other people, that's where they game. So if you're a PC gamer, it's really hard, at least from my perspective, to then go, I'm going to go sit and play on a console, unless there's exclusives. But now, like I say, with the Microsoft stuff, that's gone, and it's just Sony holding out with exclusives. So yeah.
So lesson learned from this whole situation with that developer.
Yeah.
I hope he learned his lesson. I hope you learned your lesson. Think before you hit send tweet, because that was.
Or he just got massive engagement. Maybe that's all he cares about. So
True.
whatever works.
True. So the other thing we're gonna dive into is let's see what else was on the docket. We're gonna talk about companies, and basically if you're a content creator, how you can know the difference and not be taken advantage of when it comes to companies approaching you saying, hey, we have a sponsorship for you or partnership, when it's technically an affiliate, versus and knowing the difference between affiliate, partnership, and what you're worth. So
yeah. Well, and we should break down what they are, right? So an affiliate link or an affiliate program is you get paid a percentage of a sale based on a referral, right? So you want to buy something, click on my link, and if you buy it, I'll get 2%, 1%, whatever it is. Great. The economy of scale on that doesn't really work unless you're massive. I had this discussion yesterday, and the example brought up was Linus Tech Tips, who makes a crap ton out of affiliate stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a scaling thing, right? So he makes a crap ton, but he's also got millions of views on his videos, and so he'll have a whole bunch of people using those links. Whereas if you have, and most of these affiliate things will have a minimum payout as well. So if you have whatever, you got to sell something, you get 2%. To get $100, say that's the minimum payout, you got to sell 3 times your audience base over, unless you're massive. So from that perspective, affiliate links, and a lot of new streamers, they just want to have that as if it legitimizes them, and it doesn't. It's a load. I mean, and I did it. Everything I say, I've gone through this. That's why I always, whenever I give advice type thing, it's like, don't do what I did because it's stupid, and I didn't have anyone to tell me don't. But yeah, if it's not going to work, because effectively you're doing, this is the way I explained it yesterday. You're doing the effort. You're putting in the work. You're advertising something, right? Your side of it has been fulfilled. Their side of it is not fulfilled unless you got sales. Now, I'm not a salesman. I could talk about a product, but I'm not there to push it. So, I'm exposing, I'm giving people eyes onto that product, but it's still up to them to go and buy it. So from my perspective, the work's been done, but I don't have any of the reward. So, and I think a lot of companies they go after smaller streamers because they know that people would want to put, it sort of legitimizes them by having an affiliate link. I'm affiliated with such and such. But if there's no, if it's not a two-way street, if there's an upfront fee and then a tail with the referral sales, sure. If it's something there's reasons to use it, but for the vast majority, you're probably never going to get a cent out of it. So it's not a good deal for you,
Yeah, it's really not. And there's a lot of companies like, it's like you said, like they go after, and a lot of them specifically will target smaller streamers and creators, because I guess for a lot of us who don't know our value, we think, like you said, it's the whole legitimizing of it. I've had companies, like there's a company that reached out to me about, they got like some beard oil or pomade or something like that. And I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, okay, beard growth. Okay, I'm trying to get on Jim's level, I'll get it. Okay, why not? Why not? Partnership, I dig it. So I was looking at it. And then when they sent me a thing, they said, oh, well, here's your referral link, and you're going to get this, and you got to sell this, and you got to hit this threshold. I was like, wait. I thought this was a partnership. They're like, oh, yeah, this is. We're sponsoring you. I'm like, this is not a sponsorship. This is an affiliate thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no. This is a partnership. I'm like, no. Even Razor. Okay, so like, I have, which is interesting, I have 2 different relationships with Razor. I love Razor. I know a lot of people don't. I'm a Razor fanboy just because I like the RGB. So,
bro. Come on now.
So Razor, the 2 relationships I have with Razor, I have one where they send me products to review, like the Kishi controller, mouse, keyboard, whatever. They need to send me the monitor because I want the Razer Raptor. I don't want to pay for it. So Razer, if you're watching this, send it to me right now. Anyway, so I have that. And I
get me one too while you're watching.
Right? So I also have another relationship with them where I'm a Razer streamer, right? Where they give me an affiliate link, and it's like you get 10% of whatever sales you make. And I'm over here like, I don't push it. Why should I?
Yeah.
There's no point in me doing that.
Yeah, and I had the same thing. It may have been the same beard company, but one of my first sponsors wasn't a sponsor. It was an affiliate link. Was this beard care stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, cool. I got a beard. Cool. I can do that. And they sent me out some product. Great, no problem. Products were good. Nothing wrong with the product. So top notch. But there was no. That was it. That was the payment, and then it was 1%, 2%, whatever. I can't remember what percentage, but really low percentage on products that people couldn't buy because they didn't have global shipping. So it was a mess. So from my perspective, I had that for a while. I held I did what I thought was fair, which was promote it whilst I had the products, as in their samples. Once I used them up, I said, all right, our deal's done here because this isn't working. This is rubbish. So I cancelled I just stopped promoting them. The thing is, because it's not a partnership, it's not a sponsorship, they have no idea whether I did or didn't cancel the thing because there was no relationship there, right? It was just, here's a link, do what you want, and here's a sample product. So there's a big difference between affiliate stuff and sponsorships and partnerships. There's, when you have a sponsorship, there's generally a relationship there where you need something, give them a call or send them an email, say, I need this, this, and this, and they'll hook you up. Or, and it's either paid or there's products or there's stuff that's of value to you as opposed to the potential of stuff that might be of value to you, and that's it. So that's what, that's the difference between a sponsorship and an affiliate. Then you got the other ones, which are sort of like premium affiliates or something like that, where they'll pay you a bit upfront, performance-based stuff. We'll pay you up front, and then, you still need to push those sales. And there's a lot of There's a lot of that with Raid Shadow Legends and all that. You know that one? They do a lot of that where they'll pay you a set amount and then they'll pay you a hell of a lot more based on the number of people who you get to sign up. So yeah, they had global shipping, but the shipping cost was so exorbitant it was pointless. So pretty much no global shipping.
So, because I know Lehu is super fan, she's in the chat. She has a thing with Techni Sports, so she's one of the people that they follow her and they showcase her stuff, her review and whatnot. But the whole thing, even with her, and I can say this because that's my wife. I'm gonna say this.
You might get in trouble, but
fuck it. I dislike the fact that they gave her a code. She's got a code so she can give out. People want to get the chair. It's a nice chair. I really like the chair. The chair is behind me. You can see the chairs right there. It's a very nice chair. I'm jealous. I want a chair that's nice. My chair is, I pay $100 for my chair off Amazon. It's off brand, but it feels comfortable. But anyway, so they gave her an affiliate link that she can put out. And I think she just now got like a payment after like pushing it for like a year.
Yeah.
Like I guess people were finally buying it. But my thing is, I don't like that model. Like even with me, when they approached me, they're like, oh yeah, we'll partner you, this, and this. Here's your affiliate link. And I'm like, well, where's the product? Give me the product. I'll push it as best I can. I'm not going to go out of my way, but I'll push it. It's like with Aver Media. They send me the capture card stuff and swag and all that. That's cool. Yeah. Promote me and give me opportunities. I'm for it. But, there's no pressure for me to sell it. Like, that's the partnership I like. Yes. Feature me. I'll shout y'all out. I'll do whatever I need to do. But it's not a situation where it's like, you got to buy this first before you can.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we got to cut into.
Okay.
Oh, that email with that, why don't you buy this microphone or whatever it was? What was it?
I'm going to put them on the spot. Was it Fine or Fine or something like that?
Right.
Because I know there's a Twitch streamer or Twitch streamers that do YouTube and they promote that. And they're not the only one.
Yeah, I've heard about this thing. Yeah. I've heard about people doing this before. Yeah.
There's also another company, Moanocaster, who just came out with their whole podcasting setup. It's got like the interface, the microphones and all that. I was initially interested in it because they had a Kickstarter and I'm thinking, hey, I would love to, because they even said they wanted influencers and podcasters and whatnot to work with them. So I reached out just like when they had that out. I never heard back from them. Then I saw other streamers, YouTubers, do videos on it. And I'm thinking, hey, I never heard back. So I reached out and then they're like, yeah, we'd love to work with you. Yeah. And then it turned into, it's an inconvenience because they said the same thing that Fine said. It's an inconvenience for us to ship it to you. So we need you to go and buy it on Amazon. And then you need to give it, you need to do your review. It needs to be a good review. Yeah. And then within 30 days, they will give you they'll reimburse you. So this is why I don't trust anytime I go to Amazon, I look at the reviews, I'm like, I don't trust any 5-star review or hell, even a 4-star review. I don't trust. I go straight for the 1-star and I work my way up.
That's what I'd always go to the negatives and then see what the problems are, But yeah, that's so dodge. So they couldn't send it to you.
Yeah.
But they couldn't even buy it on Amazon and put your shipping address in because that would be too difficult, right? That's just so dodge. Yeah.
All because they want that verified purchase status.
Yeah, that's it.
And for any creators out there who are getting opportunities like this from companies on Amazon or asking you to buy shit on Amazon and they'll reimburse you. Here's the thing. if you check out and you use that code that they give you for the discount or whatever, that red flags your Amazon account and will get your account. Well, you can't leave reviews. It could even get your account suspended and you just lose your Prime membership and everything like that because it's a violation of TOS.
Yeah. And the other thing, your credibility is super important when you're dealing with brands, right? And your audience, more importantly. If your audience doesn't trust what you say, and that you're being upfront and honest about a review, then it's shot. Then they just don't believe you, and then that's not a good position to be in, your audience. And then because of that, the companies will go, well, you don't have the trust of your audience, so you can't influence shit, So why would we give you the next product? Because, no one believes you anyway. So that's all you've got. If you lose your credibility, you're done. So throwing it away for, a chance at a reimbursed microphone, screw that. It's all you got. Hold on to it.
And they say it's better than an XLR.
I don't know. I don't know what the thing is, but sounds like shit.
It's a USB mic. Not even USB Type C. It's a USB. What is it? A USB A mic and 2.0.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is not better than an XLR. I even asked him. I said, is it condenser or dynamic? Well, it's a great microphone. You can't even tell me the damn difference.
They don't know. They don't even know their product. Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, terrible. The interface shouldn't matter, USB or XLR. It doesn't make a difference. But if the mic quality makes a difference, so if it's a crappy old mic, then you're in trouble. Yeah, I don't know. Doing that whole reimbursement, that sounds dodge. When I saw you post that, I was like, yeah, this is wrong.
Oh, I got shit from folks on Facebook because I shared it on my personal page, which I think I may have said this before, like when it comes to Facebook, unless I share something personal with like my wife or something like that, people don't really engage. They don't care.
Yeah.
But like I on the one time I actually shared something on Facebook, I shared that and I had other people who I'm like, wait, you're on my friends list? I didn't know that. So they ended up, what did they do? They commented like, oh, so you're crying about, having to buy this and getting reimbursed. You're still getting paid. So what's the issue? And I'm like, the issue is my integrity is not for sale. My reviews are not for sale. I'm not going to give up my credibility for a quick buck that ultimately I'm spending anyway. And so then they kept going like, hey, I do this all the time. This is how people get put on or how they get, famous and they grow from this. I'm like, maybe for you, maybe your integrity is for sale, but not mine. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Not screw that.
And he's like, dude got hella butthurt. And I'm like, why would I do? I said, well, first off, and I think this, and Lehu, if you're watching the stream, you can comment in on this too. But I think because I asked him, I said, first off, I don't even know who you are and you're commenting on my post. How do I know you? I said, secondly, this is what you do to secondly, this is what you do to grow your business so you have no credibility. I said, and thirdly, I wouldn't buy a damn thing that you're promoting. I said, you just told me something. I could screenshot this shit and put it out and you're done.
Yeah. You just told me that anything you say is up for sale, so it means nothing. Well done. People are stupid, man.
They really are, man. It's wild. It's so like when it comes to like the Fine and the monocaster, and basically at this point, when it comes to this streamer, YouTuber person, people, I'm not trying to single anyone out, but I think you probably know what I'm talking about. But I'm at a point now. Anything that they put out, I don't trust it anymore. Because there's no way they they didn't go through the same process. And here's the funny thing is my wife, Lehua, she actually got the same email as me.
Yeah.
They told her the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, is that? Hold on a second. Did I get that shit? I think I got that one. Now that it's typed out. It was just the other day. Hold on a second. I'm not joking, man. It was just the other day. And carry on to the next topic. I swear to God. Yes. Oh no, no. Sorry. No. It's something else. It's something else. Just as bad though. It's some bloody. You know that? Did you know that there are products that you can have? It's like a sleeve, like you wear a long shirt, long sleeve. Yeah. You just cut off the t-shirt and you just got a sleeve, right? I don't know why you'd want that, but you just put on your sleeve, and then it's a sleeve that you put on your mouse hand, and then you glide across your desk, and it's a sleeve. They're trying to get me to promote that. Can you imagine me telling my audience, "Hey guys, here's a sleeve. You just put, and then you game better because you got the magic sleeve, like it's the gauntlet from bloody the Avengers or something. I don't know." Like, these are the products we've got. So I did not partake.
Dear Lord.
Gaming sleeves, yo. It's all the rage.
Dude, okay, so here's another one. I got this one in in my mail the other day, or email. So I got this email from a company trying to, they wanted me to promote this thing that you put it over your keyboard. And it's like a heater, and it keeps. Look, Jim. I shit you not.
When I'm typing, my hands they get cold. Even my heaters. Fucking hell.
So like it lurches over your keyboard. It's got a heater. Apparently, it can keep your hands incredibly warm.
Yeah, just for when you're typing out Word docs in the snow.
And it's guaranteed to increase your gaming.
Oh,
like
gaming. You got to have RGB. It's got to have gaming tags on it. It's going to increase your game. That's why I suck. My fingers are too cold, and I don't have a sleeve.
It will increase your gaming skills.
Yeah.
They swear by 35%.
35. 35. That's a big call. That's huge. All right. Don't worry about that new RTX 3080. You don't need that.
No.
That's only going to give you 20% more frames. Get the heater. 35. Oh, God. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Then they just pump it out as if nobody's going to. Here's the other thing with when companies try and reach out to you, they don't do any research. Well, some of them do, and they're the ones you engage with. But when they don't do any research and they just send out this generic crap, that's like, how would that fit my audience? How would that fit what I do? You know, like a microphone makes a bit of sense, right? You do the podcast. I mean, everyone uses microphones, but podcasting microphone makes a difference. Mm-hmm. But like, for example, this super sleeve that's supposed to make me awesome at FPS games and, get next level. Do I play competitive games that I would need some super Teflon? No. Why? I play Sea of Thieves. I sail around like an idiot. They don't do any research. They don't say, is this a fit for your channel or is this a fit for your audience? They don't care. They just pump it out. There you go. Sell it. Keep your fingers warm, buddy.
I'm just thinking. I was sitting. Look, I shit you not. I sat here for a solid 15 minutes. I didn't move. I was just blinking because I'm trying to figure out how the fuck are you going to sell a heater that sits like, okay, look, for an example. So this is your keyboard. The heater will sit this high above it.
Right in front of the optimum screen. That's why it's 35%, because it covers your screen. It covers 35% of your screen. You can't see what you're doing. That's why. Think about it, man. You're not thinking, you're not thinking outside the box. You're old school, man. You're old school. Cover your screen.
Jesus Christ. I'm just thinking like, how? Like, in what way am I going to be able to promote this?
The question is why? Who's going to buy it? Are your fingers cold? Why not try Heater 5000? Get your fingers all toasty. Like, what are you going to say? How are you going to promote that thing?
Jesus Christ. There's... Okay, yeah, so audience, this is a shit that we kind of deal with almost every day.
Yeah, it is. I'll send you after we're done with this. I'll send you a product. I think it's a product. I don't know what. I'll send you this thing, and you explain what the hell it is to me, and then because I stare at it, I don't know what it says, what it is. I don't know what it is, but maybe you can figure it out and let me know. Because anyway. That's what happens with, and that's why, going back, you can't answer them all because it's just nonstop. And it's all this sort of crazy stuff, How do you, no, thank you. I don't really, my fingers are okay. What do you say?
Wait. Lehua said, what are people doing with their mouse whipping it side to side? You need that sleeve, that's why.
Teflon, no friction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a thing. Gaming sleeves. Look them up.
It's like the whole thing with gaming chairs, man. Like,
but doesn't it work? Like, as far as the marketing, how many people have gaming chairs, right? As if it's a thing. Their back is all twisted, but their gaming chair, it's the best chair they've ever sat in. Have you sat in any real chair? Have you gone and sat in an ergonomic chair before? I mean, that's a real chair. Right? It doesn't have no red stitching, but geez, it's a lot better for your back. Just get a real chair. Now, we'll never get a gaming chair sponsorship, but I don't really want one. Like they're just crappy old car seat type style, and they don't even have good lumbar support. That's why they put the cushion there. Why do you think there's that pillow? Because the chair itself doesn't have it. The adjustable, those adjustable pillows I've got. That's why they're there, because there's no lumbar support, and you need it. And the chair itself doesn't have it, so here's an extra pillow. What? But hey, we got red stitching, we got cool branding, we got the vent holes here, so you can, I see what's going on behind you. That's all good. I see it. I'm calling you out, buddy.
Hey. The only place where your jacket. No. Hey, I got no shame. I paid $100 for that.
There's that pillow. There's that pillow.
Yeah,
right there.
It's right there. It's right there. You know what? Because the chair, I wanted, and I had so when I was in IT, they got us the really good chairs with the lumbar support and everything. Like, dude, it was so nice. I absolutely loved it. And then when I asked how much was it, they're like, oh, it's $1,000 per chair. And I'm like,
Think about it. You're sitting on it all day, right? As a content creator, you're sitting there, plonked on it for 7-8 hours straight. So, it's worth the money.
Yeah, I ain't got that kind of money right now.
I hear. But you don't have to go to that extreme. Like, that's obviously a super, a really good ergonomic chair.
Yeah.
You can get decent ones, but they'll last you for ages. The good ones, the shitty ones, they'll fall apart in a year or two. You have to buy another one. They're still not cheap.
Oh, this one's already falling apart.
There you go.
I haven't even had it 6 months.
See? And then you got to buy another one. And once you add it all up, you could have had the good one all that time, and you'd still be out in front.
Yeah,
anyway,
see, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for Office Depot to open up again.
Oh yeah.
When they open, because they got there's one near us that's going out of business. It's always going out of business. I can just go get a chair there because they have them and they mark them down. So I'm like, all right, I'll wait to that and do that. Wait, because it's almost like for anything out here, trying to ship it to Hawaii is stupidly expensive. It's like with Technisport. They're like, oh, this chair is $399. Guess how much the shipping is? It's $399.
Yeah. That's how it is out to Australia as well. If somebody doesn't bring in a container load of it, trying to get stuff from a single item that isn't shipped here, stupid expensive. Same as you guys.
Oh Lord.
The way it is.
So HLO says Tired of being a tryhard when it's cold inside while gaming? Get good with our gaming sleeves.
Yeah. Only $19.95.
Oh,
I mean, we could sell it. Look, it's not that we couldn't sell it, but that we want to sell it. And now I kind of do want to. Maybe I'll respond and say, "Yeah, you know what? I think I've got a few people interested here." And maybe people do this. Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say the ideal sponsorship partnership would be for those who are watching?
Look, it's got to be something that you're interested in. Now, be it a brand, be it a product, be it a game, whatever. It's got to be something that you like, you're passionate about, whatever. You got to have that connection to the product. Then you can talk about it honestly and favorably, and people will see that you like the thing and it's really good because you know what it is. As far as the deals, obviously, getting paid for, I'm very much transactional, right? I much prefer straight transactions. Here's a game. We want you to stream it for 2 hours, do 3 social posts, bang, bang. Here's the deliverables. Here's the fee. Done. Right? I do my bit. You do your bit. We go our separate ways. If you like it, we can do it again next week. That sort of deal. They're great because they're simple, right? There's no ongoing. There's none of that. And then you got other ones where there's products involved, and that's cool. But products don't pay the bills, right? At the end of the day, I could have all these sponsorships for all these products, and then I've got all these products here, but I can't eat the product. I can't go down the bank and say, my mortgage payment, here's a keyboard, or, they don't take that. So at the end of the day, it is a business, and the business needs to make money. Otherwise, the business goes under. So, products are great and they give you something to do, but what you get in return beyond the product has to be, there's got to be some value to you for that, whether that's having promotion from their side, with their channels, there's value to that. That's, money you don't have to spend. But if it's just, here's a product and, go promote my sleeve, well, that doesn't, that gives me nothing at all, So, and then right down the track, then you've got the affiliate stuff. With affiliate stuff, if you've got, I've got a couple that I use, but they're things that I use. For example, I've got one for my, I use a VPN. If anybody talks to me, asks me about VPN, I'll recommend the VPN that I use. I like it. And then if they sign up, then I get 30 days off, 30 days free use of it, and they get 30 days. So I'm using it anyway. It's not an additional deal. So I'm already using it. Those ones I have no problem with because I'm already using that service anyway. And if I can get a month off here and there, great. But I wouldn't go out seeking those sort of deals as a general rule. Yeah.
I I recently had a partnership with or sponsorship with Trend Micro, internet security. And so the way that they approached me was, hey, we want you to if you can promote our product, we'll send it to you. We'll also pay you. But we just need it on 3 podcasts. It's got to be within the first 3 minutes. It's got to be there. And then it's got to be anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds long, covering certain key points. And then, we're going to pay you a couple $100 product, blah, blah, blah. X amount of social media posts. And I'm over here like, okay. I use Trend Micro anyway, so
yeah, that's fine. I mean, they're paying for a spot, right? So cool.
Yeah,
as long as the fees are right. And here's the other, going back to what we were saying about valuing what you do. If you do something, if a company comes to both of us, right, and play our game, and they say, Jim, we'll give you $50, and I say, no, I don't want $50. $50 is enough. But they come over to you and say, we'll give you $50, Mikhail. And you go, yeah, I'll do it. Well, that's the price now. Now that's the price, $50. So the more people who jump on board and just take the first offer and don't negotiate and don't know what, like $50 for that sort of thing would be crazy. This is way too low, right? So, the more people that jump on anything and take the first deal that comes along and they make a few dollars, that devalues all of it. And sort of the free market, but it doesn't work that way, because when you get larger and then you get into bigger AAA games, you're talking about decent money for an hour, 2 hours of gameplay. You're talking about decent money. And so what that does, it devalues that sort of bubbling, smaller indie type funding and exposure that happens. And most people won't do it. Like people who have bigger channels, then they won't play in that space. So it doesn't work for the developers of those in those studios either, because they don't get the exposure they're trying to get. And it doesn't work for the creators because they don't get the money that they ought to be getting. So it's very important to know, and it's very important to say no when it is, like I said before, there was a deal that came through for a game, and they offered me to pay me for it, but that wasn't the right amount, and so I said no, thank you very much, and then they gave me the key anyway. Now I can't go and play that game, can I? Because then the low amount just went to zero if I do actually play the game. But and sometimes you got to say no, and as long as not saying anything bad about it, just this isn't the right price, and happy to work with you again if the budget is there.
Yeah. I know for that made me remember the last time I had I think this was 2 years ago. What's that thing? Restream.io.
Yeah.
I have a serious bone to pick with them. Fuck.
Well, welcome to Backyardis podcast, and let's tell me about this problem you got with Restream.io. Let's dive into it there, Mikkel. Go ahead.
Okay, Jim. Let me tell you, I can't.
My show now, mate.
I can't stand them for some dumb shit that they did. Okay, so, and I don't give a fuck. I will never work with them again. So Lehu and I, we did, they approached us, I want to say 2 years ago, to do, sponsored streams for, I forget what, some Japanese RPG. Yeah. Was it 2 or 3 years ago, Lehu? I forget how long ago it was, but it was, some JRPG, and basically you got you get paid based off the viewer count and all this stuff, right? So one of the things that Stream.io, okay, so 3 years ago, so Stream.io, what they would do, and if you see sponsored Stream.io things, they viewbot. So we went and we were streaming, and we normally never get, like, okay, so when I say viewbot, everyone who was streaming this game had like 3,000-4,000 viewers.
Yeah.
We're over here like, okay. So like we did that, and then for the views, they're supposed to pay you. No, there apparently was not, because there is a discrepancy when it came to getting paid. There's not supposed to be like a pay ceiling. So the account they gave us, since at the time they knew her and I were a couple, they had us under the same account, even though we are streaming on 2 different channels, 2 different outlets. They're like, no. We'll just put you under the same account. So then we had issues with getting paid. Then they gave us attitude because they're like, oh, the lady told me, and fuck you, lady. They told me that I had, I could have at least had some people in the stream chatting to make it not seem so obvious what they were doing.
If they're the ones botting, they should get some bloody chatters. Unbelievable. So they put your channel at risk.
Yeah.
Right. And then they crack the shits at you because Yeah, you didn't know that they were about to break all the terms of service.
Yep. And then they wouldn't it took them 4 months to pay, and then they didn't pay us individually. They only gave us one payment. It was just for my stream. And they paid the lowest amount.
Yeah.
So fuck Restream.io. It's a grimy service. You can't really do that if you're on Twitch. If you get affiliate or partner, you can't use that. But yeah, a lot of people go with them, and I'm like, they're grimy. They're grimy. I don't like them.
Yeah. It doesn't make much sense to use that service anyway. Like I say, you can't do it really on Twitch, but if you've got, if you have a live show, whatever it is, if you're interacting with one audience, right? If if you're going like something like this, right, you could potentially do it because it's mainly a conversation between the two of us, right? And people are either tuning in or they're watching it later. But if it's a live show like most of Twitch, and then I start answering questions, for example, that I'm getting from Facebook or wherever, and the people in Twitch are going, what's he talking about? Who's he talking to? It doesn't make sense. And then I've just split my audience. Now I've got some people on Twitch, some people over here, and they don't know each other. It's not one community. It's a really weird way. I know a lot of people do that when they start out and they stream to everywhere at once. And unless you're doing something like, say, that isn't interactive, that is just people consuming it, it doesn't make any sense to do that to restream like that. It's crazy. You end up splitting your audience. Instead of growing in one platform, you end up growing on no platforms. You split it so thin that you don't grow at all. I don't get it.
I don't understand it either, because I know a lot of people that do that, and they're like, oh, well, that way you're not tied down to one platform. I'm like, but still.
I don't have an audience on any platform then either.
Yeah. Why do that? Yeah. And that actually leads into another topic that just popped in my head. So Facebook gaming. So a fellow streamer on Twitch that I know has he started streaming on Facebook gaming, and one of the things that he said was he noticed he has really high engagement. Well, not high engagement. He has high viewership, exceptionally high viewership on Facebook gaming. Retention rate is like 5 to 10 seconds. So I'm thinking, if that's the case, then people are just scrolling. They see you pop on. Okay, well, I don't see Facebook gaming as, for one, I feel like Facebook is a dying platform. Two, for streaming, I just don't think that's a place. I feel like they're gonna pull a Mixer.
I don't know. So I was talking with. I had this session yesterday, and this sort of topic came up. Regions are very important. So for me and for you, Facebook would be pointless. But apparently in Southeast Asia, Facebook is where they go for streams. So depending on your region and the audience you're streaming to, it may actually be it may be a thing, but it's definitely not here. I don't know anyone who even watches Facebook gaming, let alone streams on it. YouTube, I know plenty of people who watch it and stream on it, but not a single person on Facebook. So, but apparently in Southeast Asia, it's quite huge. And I think that comes down to, like, it's the main platform over there, Facebook. It's like, it is the internet type situation. But I've never even seen a stream on Facebook. I wouldn't know how to find one. I just don't use Facebook. So I have used it where you scroll and stuff just starts playing. So that could be what's going on. It's just putting it in the feed and people scrolling through and going, well, when you're watching, and this is what's different, right? When you're trying to watch a stream, you're actively doing it. You're there to interact. You're there to watch something. So you go out of your way, as opposed to, scrolling in a timeline, like on Twitter, as if a stream came up in Twitter, as if I'd stop, and that's not what I was there for. I was just going to have a quick scroll. I don't have time to sit there and engage in a stream, So that's a sort of feed that they're putting it in. So it makes sense that it'd have 5 to 10 seconds engagement, then they're gone. Yeah, but I think different regions, man, they interact with technology differently.
It's yeah. The last time I went on Facebook Gaming, I went to see because we have a couple Aver Media partners that stream on Facebook Gaming, and I think they both are doing well metrically. It seems that they're doing well, but for me, the interface is clunky. It's not very intuitive. Even as a streamer, like their stream, I was actually fiddling with it the other day because I was like, how we have our Facebook pages, so we can also stream from it. So I was fiddling with it, trying to figure out, okay, so where's my stream key? Where is the section that I go to do the title? It's not at all intuitive at all. Or maybe I'm biased because I'm just used to YouTube and Twitch, but
it's not intuitive. It used to be. Well, I don't know about when I was on Facebook properly, it was basic. It was straightforward. It was all in front of you. Then I just started adding crap. Now every time I look at Facebook, I get confused. What the hell is this? It's all over the place. Unless you're on it all the time and constantly, trickle feeding the changes, and you go, I see that's changed. But if you come from nothing and you have a look at it in one hit, you're like, holy crap. Whereas you jump on Twitch, within 2 seconds, you can figure it out, right? The video's there, the text, the chat is there. All right, there's some stuff down below, but okay, the stuff that's important, chat, video, I got it. Facebook, I don't even know where to go to find it. It's all over the place.
That's the thing. Okay, so that actually is something that's as streamers, we have to, shit happens, and we have to learn how to just on the fly run with it. So
start riffing about pigeons.
I know, right?
At first, I didn't know that you'd gone under because you were just sitting there, and I thought you were just thinking about. Nah, you got to be blinking. You're not blinking, mate. You got to be frozen. I wasn't sure. It's the second Aussie bird war, correct? Yeah, it's very important. I mean, I make it sound like it's a trivial thing. I was walking. I went to the park yesterday, and I walked back, and I was looking at. It's a flock of pigeons. It's not 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. It's like 40, 50 pigeons. Like, think about what that looks like. My roof is covered in birds. It's scary. So, anyway, it's a thing.
So I wanted to ask you something about as far as like when it comes to Twitch, because wait, Gigosh says, do you get the trap from the council?
No, I had to buy one. But it hasn't arrived yet. I was expecting it to turn up on Friday, but it didn't. So it's going to have to wait till next week. And then I'm going to trap him. And then I'm going to just take him for a big old drive and release him somewhere else really, really far. Although I think they might be homing pigeons. And that's going to be a problem because then they're going to come back. That's a problem.
So the question I wanted to ask you is regarding like Twitch, because I hear this from a lot of people who are streaming, smaller streamers, people who are jumping from, who may have left Mixer, tried Twitch, didn't like Twitch, went to Facebook Gaming. A lot of people keep saying, or a lot that I hear, that from people I know, is that it's impossible to grow on Twitch. So impossible to get a higher viewer count. So what is your take on that? Because I see you, bro, you're doing well. There's a lot of other streamers I know that are doing fantastic. I feel like it's more of a situation where you're not going to have overnight success and you got to put in the work to grow.
That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, to say you cannot grow is it's bullshit. People grow every day. People pop up out of nowhere every single day. If you stream you do one stream and you think that all of a sudden I'm entitled to 50 viewers because I just started streaming today, you're living in fantasy land. It doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. You can't grow like that. Going from zero to hero overnight doesn't happen. You need to cultivate a community. People have to want to come back and hang out with you. And that doesn't happen overnight. if you start streaming, you get 1-2 viewers, great, you're on your way. But don't expect that sort of. I've got 2 viewers today, tomorrow I have 4, day after 8, and so on and so on. And in a month's time, I've got 5,000. That's not, that's not how it happens. So I don't know. It seems like people are in a massive rush, or they think that it's easy. That's my biggest. That's what I find. People think it's simple, and I always say it's a skill, right? It takes time to develop the skill. You want to play golf, you just don't go, oh, I went out and I had a hit and now I'm not a professional. I mean, that's what we're talking about. I've got a hobby. I like to have a hit of golf, but I'm cracking the shits after playing 1 round of golf because I'm not like Tiger Woods. Yeah, no shit, you're not like Tiger Woods. To get to that level, you got to practice and practice. It's the same thing. It's a skill that needs to be developed. And most people don't even get a sense that they're like out in the backyard hitting a golf ball. That's effectively what they're doing. They're not even on the golf course yet, So there's definitely it's there if you work. If you do the work, it'll end up happening. Now, could it happen quicker on other platforms? Probably. Do you need to work hard and try and get a bit of YouTube, bit of this, and try and drag viewers in? Yep. But to say it's impossible is just stupid. It's definitely possible.
Like I've noticed, like I don't have the highest viewership. Like I average between 11. I guess my spectrum is like 11 and 25. That's where I'm at. I'm happy because it's like that's better than 1. That's better than just 2. But even if I have 1 and 2, I'd be happy with that because it's someone I can interact with. But what I'm noticing, because I've only been on Twitch for, I started on Twitch years ago, and then I went to YouTube because I was told, hey, do everything on one platform. No, don't do everything on one platform. It's not good. But coming back and actually putting in the effort, putting in the work on Twitch, my viewership is growing. It's slowly growing, but it's growing. My follower count's growing. People, if they're not tuning in to the live stream, they're actually tuning into the VOD, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it's just, I put in the work. I stream. I need to get more consistent of a schedule. That's one thing I need to improve on. I know I do. But, I'm putting in work and I'm seeing results. And I feel like a lot of these people, and I think it kind of goes back to the stream coaching thing we kind of talked about last time you were on. A lot of people think there are shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in this.
Work, you're trying to be a professional at something, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're trying to be a professional. If you're just trying to have a hit in the backyard, right? Then who cares? Who cares about your numbers? You're just playing with your mates, right? Then don't even look. Don't care. But if you're trying to be a professional, well, that takes work. Doesn't matter what field you're in. It takes work. If you're not willing to put in the work, then how do you have a conversation with people? Another thing to remember, and this is what a lot of people miss the point on. If you have an average, you stream and you have an average of 5 viewers, it's not 5 viewers, right? Mm-hmm. That's an average of 5 viewers. So over your stream thing, that could be like 30, 40, 50 viewers who come in and leave, right? But over the time, it's the average of 5 viewers. So you're still reaching a large, decent number of people. So your community is more than the 5. You're more than that number. Like my average now sits at about, I don't know, what was the last month? I don't even know. I don't generally look at it.
500-600 people. I've seen it.
Nah. Average is like, there you go. Up month to date is 110. Right?
That's really good.
But unique viewers, I'm just looking at the metrics right now for month to date, 19,000. So 19,000 people have come through my channel. But on average, it's 110. Right? So it's like almost 20, it's 19,000 people that have visited the channel and interacted in one way or another. And a million minutes watched in the last month. You know what I mean? So you don't get fixated on, oh, I've got 5 viewers. No, you don't. You got 5 average viewers. Well, I'm sure they're all average. No, I'm joking. You got 5 viewers right? Over the period that you stream. So that could be, people come in, people leave. If that average sits there, and even if it ticks up a bit, right, you're dealing with a lot of people. So there's a lot of opportunity for engagement, a lot of opportunity for community building. It's not just the same old 5 people. It's people come, people go. They get so fixated on it, so fixated on that number. And it, the best streams I've had are when, like we had a really great discussion. I can't remember what it was, but I remember just thinking it was awesome. It was, I think it was last Thursday. We like start of every stream. I think I told you last time I do a just chatting section, and we sit there and talk. We talk crap.
I learned that from you because I started doing that, and I know Lehua started doing it. It's really good to do that because the idea of just jumping straight into a stream,
jumping into a game when people haven't even turned up yet. It's like, oh, cool. Now we're just playing a game. All right, great. But I mean, some people that's cool. That's what they want to do. But I'm trying to build a community.
Yeah.
Right. And I am building that community. The only way to do that is to connect to people and actually talk to them. And if you can spend some time just actually talking to them, that's great. But I think it was Thursday or Wednesday, but during that section, we just sat there talking crap about all sorts of different topics. And there was only 80 people or something during that time, which is below the average. And when we play games, it ramps up. But that was really good. Everyone was engaged. We were having a really good conversation. I can't even remember what the hell it was, but it was really good and interactive, and everyone was involved. The chat was going off. Everyone was talking. And then you jump into the game. The numbers go up, but the chat dies off because people are then watching the game. So you don't have that, that interaction. So if I only looked at numbers, I would say that the start of the stream was bad and the end of the stream was good, where it was actually the reverse. The start of the stream was really good. It wasn't bad at the end of the stream, but you know what I mean? That was the most activity at the start of the stream with less people, less of an average. But so you can't just stare at a number and think that's the only metric.
That and like I've seen some stuff like Harris Heller and Sam Woodhall, like they put out tweets before where they say that you basically should only stream like 3 or so days, like 2 or 3 days a week. Like you should stream less. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think if I was to cut 2 days out of my stream and do 3 days, I reckon my audience would. I'd lose half of them. I'd say, probably. I don't know, because people have a routine. At least it depends on the stream you've built, the community you've built. I feel that my stream there's a community there, and they have a routine. Come back from work, and they come hang out, right? And when I don't stream, they're like, "What do I do? What do I do?" But I'm pretty much one of the only streamers they watch. They're not the transient streamer who just visits. And so if I'm not there, and then they find somebody else in that time slot, they're going to go hang out there, and now I've lost them. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it and we'll see what happens. I think it depends. If I'm a minute late, everyone loses their mind on Discord. If I'm late,
really,
some of them are in here looking at me right now. I see you. I see you. yeah. So I think starting out, definitely, there's no point. It depends on your audience, right? There's no point if you've got a handful of people in there doing 8 hours for 5 days a week is too much. So the advice is good. But then if you get to a point, like now I'm a full-time streamer, so this is what I do and people expect that I'm there, yada, yada. But if I was starting out and I was putting in all those hours, it really wouldn't make a difference. I see the question there. You want to read it?
Yeah. Let's see. Dar Sensei says, that's a good question because I stream 3 times a week and I feel I could grow if I switched. Just not enough time in the day though.
Yeah. I don't think you do you see yourself growing while you're streaming longer? or does it happen in bursts? Because if it's happening, if I do a 12-hour stream, I don't get a consistent amount of, people are following throughout the whole thing. It'll happen in chunks. People will come in, there'll be a bit of a hype period, and then it'll go quiet for hours. And then we'll get another spike, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever followers come through. It's not like bang, bang, bang. Like you see some of the big streamers, then it just follows a non-stop. They're just non-stop. That doesn't happen. So I don't know if doing longer streams or doing more streams would make a massive difference in growth. I think each time you're live, you pick up one or two people who will hang out with you, who like what you're doing. And every time you do it, you pick up, and it doesn't matter whether you do that for 4 hours or you do it for 12 hours. The problem is when people go nuts and they do like 24-hour streams and really long streams, by the end of it, you're knackered, right? And if you're knackered, so you've only got one opportunity to impress somebody with streaming. If I jump in and you're looking like a zombie, right, and you're not talking because you're tired, you've been doing 24 hours and I've checked in at the 23rd hour, that's not your stream schedule, right? So I'm never going to catch you again because this is my time to watch, right? Now you're at the 23rd hour. You would never be streaming here unless you do another 24-hour. So that follow is pointless because they probably can't watch your content. So you're probably not going to get them either because at that point you're so tired that you're not at your best. So people aren't going to want to follow and like, what's this? This guy's a zombie right here, So you got to think of all these things when you come up with the strategy and what you're trying to do.
So Dar Sensei says, do you recommend extreme changes in gear setup like mics and cams?
I think I had this discussion on all these topics come up on my stream all the time.
So make sure y'all go follow, okay?
That's right. Do it. Do it now. I'll wait. Now, I think a lot of people think that you have to have all the coolest gear and you got to have a mirrorless camera and a Shure microphone and got to buy top of the line gear and then boom, that's what it's going to take. I would always recommend that unless you have another need for like a mirrorless camera, you're going to use it for actual photography or you do something with audio, you need that super mic. Don't touch it until your audience grows with you. So as your audience grows, then you go, cool, we've got more support. Now I'm going to pick up the production values. I'll get a new mic. That's not going to change. You're not going to get a viewer because of the microphone. I don't get any extra viewers because of the camera that I've got now. I've got less viewers now. And the camera made zero difference. It all depends on what game you're playing and what sort of interaction you've got. So don't overcapitalize on your stream. Just do what you need, get what you need to get going, and then as you progress, you can get better gear as you go. Yeah.
Do you feel that? Oh, never mind. There's another question.
Yeah.
So also, what do you recommend for that zombie stare? I feel like I'm engaging with the viewers, but I'm so chill that I feel like I'm not the type people like to watch.
I mean, the world's full of crazy people and different people, and everyone is different. So there will be people who want to watch you specifically. Be yourself, be genuine. That's the only advice I'd say. If you're genuine, and there will be somebody who wants to hang out with you because you are genuine. You're yourself, whether for whatever that is. Whatever your opinions you got, just be you. Don't be. You put on. If you're trying to be fake, people see through that, right? And nobody wants to hang out with the fake person. I want to hang out with the genuine person. Doesn't matter what that personality is. You'll find a group that likes that. If there's so many chill streamers, there's so many people that are just very chill, mellow. That's cool. People want that. I don't personally like streams that are super high energy and just people screaming and jumping off the walls. I'm not a big fan of that. Others love that, really hyper and, so there's different people, and definitely different audiences. So I wouldn't worry too much about trying to cater to an audience. Just do you, and try and have the best content that you can do without, faking it.
Do you feel that like growth on Twitch in a sense, because there are people who are variety streamers, like, and in that sense, the ones I'm specifically talking about, because I've had several on like Black Oni and such that have stated that if there's a trending game that comes out, they're on it. And if it's the trendingness is dying off, they drop it and they go to whatever else is trending. I personally feel like I can't do that because I kind of like consistency in a sense, but I do feel that a lot of people have grown sticking with one or two titles, and then they can experiment, but they build their audience around that. But do you think it's wise to constantly change games like super frequently?
So there's two, from what I've seen, there are two methods, right? And I've seen it fail. I've seen both of them fail for different reasons. So let's go through it. So the first one is, like you say, playing one game, sticking to it, building an audience around that game. The problem with that is that's what you're associated with. If that game dies, you get sick of that game, you want to move on, you try something else, the vast majority of that audience won't go with you, right? That's all they want to watch. So they're going to go back and watch somebody else. And you see that all the time with people who are known for a game. They switch the game and their numbers plummet. So there's that. Then you got the other people who jump around constantly and they never establish an audience at all, right? Because they're just constantly moving. So what I find is I play a fair variety of games, but all the while my focus is never the game. It's always it depends. Right? I'm always focused with the community. So it's, yeah, we're playing this game right now, but we're still talking. We're just interacting and having a laugh. You know, the Discord is pretty open to, it's not just about the game. We're talking about all sorts of different topics. And so when I change game, people don't care what the game is because they're still there to hang out and have that discussion and talk to each other and that community vibe. So with that approach, you can do either. Changing games is important because you're not going to have that massive drop when you inevitably get sick of the game.
Like me with Final Fantasy 14 right now.
Right? It happens. I mean, it doesn't matter what game you play. You're playing it hours and hours a day. Sooner or later, you're going to get sick of it.
Yeah.
Right? And then you move. And if that was all you did and you haven't really established that community vibe, as soon as you leave, that's going to go straight away. And I've seen that so much with games I've played in the past where I was able to grow. Well, I had bigger numbers while I was in that community, but and because you'll always get those that just only want to watch that and they'll drop off immediately. So, but because I was able to grow a community around it, and not around the game, but around me and everyone talking about all topics. When I went, most of those came with me. So I see myself, and so a lot of people left that game that I used to play, and now I see a lot of them with playing different games they used to have 200 plus viewers. Now they got 30. Okay. So I used to have 200 I think I used to average about 250 viewers. And now, like I said, what do I say, 140 or whatever? Right? And that's because with all the different games that I played, you'd always grab a few people to become part of that community and they'd hang out no matter what because they're not there for the games. And the ones who do drop off, they're going to go anyway. But when you do change game and you're not going to have that massive impact. Like I said, I've seen people who had bigger channels than me and now they're down to 30 viewers because they changed games and that community wasn't built around them. It was built around the game. Changed the game, lost the community. So I think that's the key. You want to be building a community wherever you go and you'll always grab one or two people along the journey and they'll stick with you. And and you keep building on that. They're the ones that's your audience, not the people who are just there for the game. And you see that, when are you going to play such and such? You get that all the time. I'll get to it, and they're not your audience.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the last streaming question I have, unless the audience has a question themselves, is for streaming, how critical is consistency in the schedule?
I think it's important. Whatever the schedule is, I think it's important because going back to the last answer, right? Whereas you're trying to build the community. If you're just going to pop on randomly, that community doesn't exist because they don't have a chance to interact with you. They don't have a chance to interact with each other, and that's what you're building. So if you're jumping all over the place, you know, they're not going to. They'll find that somewhere else.
Yeah.
So if I don't know when you're going to be on, now even if it's 1 day a week, you can still grow that sort of vibe with 1 day, 2 days, whatever it is. But if you're not consistent and it's sporadic, and you're never going to get that connection with people because they don't know that you're there. You're always getting, first viewers for the first time every time. So you don't have that. I remember we were talking about the pigeons. The pigeon saga is going, big with my channel. That's what we're talking about because it's an ongoing event, the bloody war with the pigeons. So people know about it, and we've got this community. We're all invested in how's this going to end now. I don't even know. Whereas you don't get that if you just sporadically, I'll do one stream this week, one stream 3 weeks time. There's people do it for different reasons, right? People stream for different reasons. If you're doing it just for a laugh, don't take anything I say as it's nothing. Who cares, right? Because you're not doing it for that. You're doing it just to relax and have a laugh. So more power to you. Enjoy. There's different types of streamers, and what I'm talking about is a full-time streamer type situation, or somebody who wants to get to that point. Not somebody who wants to just hang out and have a stream here and there just for a laugh with their friends.
Okay. Dari Sensei says, networking. How do you feel about people coming and showing love with like bits and such, and then asking to like play with you or ask to be shown love in your stream?
Yeah, there's a fine line. There's a fine line. People like some people want to think. Some people we touched on this the other week, right? Yeah. Where some people think that if you by subbing or then they're owed something. They're showing support for you for what you do, and when people do it, it's amazing. And I've got the most generous community ever. They blow me away every freaking week. Anyway, but none of them will sit there and say, "Oh, cool. Now that I've given you some bits, I want this, I want that." They might say it as a joking thing, but no one will be serious, and especially with me, because I'll just get rid of them. I don't care. I'm not going to. I'm not a dancing monkey. You can't throw $5 and say dance. I'm getting do this for me now.
Tell us how you really feel.
But people know. That's why people turn up. Because I'm that's how I am. I'm genuine. I'm real. If people know that, so anybody who does that, I'll say thanks for the tip, and now you're banned. If somebody's trying to make you into a dancing monkey, it's just not what's. I'm here I'm entertaining you. If you enjoy that, great. And some people want to derail will try and derail the stream just so they can get a bit of attention, and it's not worth it for the $5, $10 that they've given you. It's not worth letting them. So you got to push back. You got to have your boundaries, and just if somebody crosses the line, just pull them up and say. And if they don't like it, well, they're trying to derail your stream anyway. So who cares?
Did I tell you about the streamer that reached out? Okay, so story time. So, I reach out to people for the podcast, and I reached out, I'm always reaching out to other creators, people in the gaming industry, whatever. Which is funny because a very prominent streamer that you and I both know told me that by my reaching out, it makes me look desperate. Which is funny. So I was reaching out to was it New York 360? It's like whatever gaming thing that they have. So I reached out to the PR person from them. I was trying to get in contact with him, which I've successfully done so far. We're gonna collaborate in the future. And it's funny because then I had this other streamer, and apparently she responded to my tweet to the PR person, and once she wanted to come on my show. And so I was like, okay, so tell me something about yourself, because I have no idea who you are, sell me on why I should have you on my show. I don't just let anyone on the show.
Wow. Your standards aren't that high. I've been on twice, so
Hey, sir, you are the Backyardis. Come on.
So
I have a certain standard, and you gotta reach this standard. And so I was like, tell me about yourself. She's like, oh, I don't know how to talk about myself. I'm like, okay, so then how am I going to interview you?
Yeah.
What are you going to bring to my show? And she's basically someone who wants to stream, or no, she's streaming. She's been streaming. She wants to be a singer. She lives in New York and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, but what is unique about you? Like what? And she couldn't sell me on it. So I was like, all right, well, I guess if you want to come on the show, like you can go to my website, book a time. We'll get back to you if you fit, and we've had the time to do research on you to see more. If there's something that interests us, that when I say us, I mean me.
Yeah.
Like if there's something,
it's us. Like, it's a whole group of us. Me and Bob.
You, the pinball machines.
Yeah. That's it. The guitar back there, it's got its own opinions.
Right. So I was like, if there's something interesting, then, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
So I didn't. So she booked the time. I didn't accept it. And then the time came around and she's like, okay, so what time? She's like, how are we doing this? How are you interviewing me? I said, I didn't say I was going to.
Yeah.
I said I would consider it, but then I need to, we'll do some research on you. So then one day I'm streaming and she raised my stream, and I think she brought like 20 or so people. And then she gave me a bunch of bits. And then she started saying, yeah, I can't wait to come on your show when you interview me. And I was like, thank you. You're still not coming on my show.
Yep.
It's like
it's not the right way to go about it. It doesn't work as far as networking. So yeah, you can't just say, all right, I'll throw $10 at you, $20, I'll give you $100, but now you do what I want. It's like, nah, if it's not a right fit, it's not a right fit, and it won't be a right fit. So I see Dari sort of had the follow on, like what classifies as proper networking.
Mm-hmm.
And then so if somebody wants to work with me, I want them to, I want to know that they're part of the community. So they're not out of the blue, unless it's a sponsored thing. Then, if you want to, like a sponsored thing, they wanted to, then there'd be a set fee and all that, right? But as far as networking with other streamers, I don't really care to work with randos who I don't know. If you want to work with me, then pop into my stream, like be part of my community. I know you now. I know your personality. I know that we're going to be able to play off each other and have a good time. Then, then you can hit me up on Discord and say, sort of have that connection first. It all comes down to relationships. I think people are very transactional. It's like, you got to have the relationship with people before you say, oh, now I want this. Well, I don't know you. You know what I mean? But if you're in my community, we've hung out, we've had a chat, whatever, I get a sense of your personality. Then you jump into Discord and say, oh, this is what I want to do. So I'm more inclined to listen to you and because I know who you are, if somebody rando out of the blue says, I'm starting to stream and I've had it so many times, come and host me, or who are you, man? Why, I don't know who you are. So yeah, I think having established that connection with somebody, that relationship with somebody, now people can say, yeah, you know what, you're a cool dude, or I want to hang out with you, we're going to play a game together, whatever it might be. If and sometimes it's not right, and say, nah, look, I appreciate you, but not a right fit for me. Or you just got to be honest, just say no.
Yeah.
There's no way, there's no shortcut really, is what, there's no way to say, oh, this is how I'll get them. I'll give them $100 and some people will take it, but I won't.
Yeah, it's and I've really seen this when it comes to streamers. Well, YouTubers as well, but streamers definitely. It feels like a lot of people are just out for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, here's it. Oh, go on. Finish.
No, go ahead. No,
I was going to say is just the story that we had the other night. Was it Wednesday night? I was streaming. We were playing Sea of Thieves, and had an encounter with another player there, on the seas. And then he goes, oh, it was good. It was a friendly encounter, really good, just wholesome type situation. And he said to us in the voice comms in game, he goes, oh, by the way, I'm streaming on Twitch. I said, oh, cool. I said, oh, what's that? I said, oh, are you streaming in the Sea of Thieves directory? He says, yeah. I go, all right, well, why don't you refresh the directory and have a look at the top row? Because I was a top streamer in the directory at that time. And he's, oh my God, is that you, Backyardis? I go, yeah. He goes, oh my God. And then, so I sent my crew while I was streaming. I said, all right, we went our separate ways, in game. And I said to all of my, to my channel, I said, let's go across to his channel and go show him some love. Hit that follow button, because he's a small streamer, So we went over there. My crew, like I said, is super generous. They went in there, they gave him a whole bunch of subs, and got his next sub emote unlocked and all that sort of stuff. So that sort of, we just made his day just by being wholesome and being cool, as opposed to say, once he recognized me, he wasn't like, oh, cool, man, come give me stuff or come raid me or anything like that. So, you can have, we boosted his channel from, I think we had 5 to like 50 or something in 2 minutes. And you can have that without just, because people want to be nice and be cool and shit. So it happens. Anyway, that was my story.
Let's see. Dark Sensei says, are you more inclined to work with smaller streamers or larger streamers? I think it kind of goes back to what you just said. It's the relationship, knowing the person. Like, it doesn't really matter about the size.
Yeah, at the end of my stream, I'll raid every day. I raid people, and I raid people who have large channels. I raid people who have tiny channels. It just depends. There's no preference. I tend not to do collabs because I find, as just as a general rule, I find that it takes a lot of the attention away from the stream. So I'm more interacting with, and because Sea of Thieves, what we're playing lately, it's kind of hard because you got to have comms throughout the whole thing. So I'm always talking to my crew, and then I'm talking to my channel, and then if I've got another streamer over there that I'm also dealing with, it really splits that quite a bit. So it's even hard now with, you're talking to your crew and you're talking to your channel. And like I say, my focus is always the stream. So that's just me, but I have done plenty of collabs, but I tend to try not to because of that sort of focus split. But the last one, we did a whole bunch of COD stuff, and that was with a channel with 5 viewers, and then I've done other ones with channels with 400 or 500 viewers. So yeah, there's no preference. Yeah.
Okay. So you brought Sea of Thieves. That's one of the main things I wanted to have you here for. I want to talk about it, brother. So congratulations again on making partner with Sea of Thieves. How does it feel?
Thank you.
How did it come about? Tell us about it. It's your show, Jim.
It is, yeah. So I should ask you the questions. So I started playing Sea of Thieves. I've only been playing it for about 4 months or something. But we started playing it, got absolutely hooked on the game. It's great. And you're playing it every day, and you got decent numbers in the directory. It's all right. Well, they have a partner program. So, well, you know what? I should apply, seeing as I'm playing every day. I got good numbers. I met all their requirements. The funny thing was, so when they go down for maintenance, everyone sort of buggers off. But because we're having such a good time with the game, when it went down for maintenance, they had this like small outages. I'd sit there, and everyone would flood in and say, the old, when's the servers coming back up? Like I know, right? But I was in a directory, and we were just talking about the game and just, watching videos of the game and I'd run a competition for Discord, say, all right, give me your best Sea of Thieves screenshot. So I was sort of more part of the community when the game wasn't actually up, you know, because everyone else would leave. So I'd be the only person there just having these, you know, Sea of Thieves type interactions. So yeah, I applied for the partnership, and you know, a couple months went on and nothing, and then eventually they tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you're up." I was like, "Boom, let's go." So it's really good. It's gives me access to, obviously, I can talk to the devs directly on their Discord. They give me items to do giveaways. There's the Obsidian 6-pack, which one of my viewers will never get. He's been trying to get it for ages, but it's like an in-game cosmetic thing, and you can give those out. And then when there's drop campaigns and stuff, you can interact. But yeah, it's a good little. It's just more of a recognition that you're playing the game. You got a community that loves the game. Is you're bringing people into the game. So yeah, that sort of recognition is really nice. Yeah.
Okay. How because I dabbled with Sea of Thieves back when it first came out. And it's so crazy because I remember when people were shitting on that game. I thought it was fun. I just and this is one thing about Sea of Thieves. It's fun when you play with someone. I didn't have anybody to play with because when it came out, like I said, people were shitting on it. Now my friends were playing it, and I was at the point where I was like, "Oh, I don't want to play with randoms." But then I look back on it, I was like, "Shit, I did the same thing with Final Fantasy 14. I didn't have anyone to play with, so I dropped it." So okay, that's a personal issue. I need to go talk to my therapist about that. Why do you drop games when you don't have people to play with?
Join us on Discord, and we'll find your players.
Right. So I think the game is fun. And when I was watching you play it, because I pop in your streams, weekly. And when I'm watching you, you and your crew, you're doing stuff, I'm like, man, this is like a shit ton of fun, especially when you have people to play with.
Yeah.
What drew the game what drew you to the game?
So I played it for the first time back in 2018. I think it was during summer, like December 2018. And I played it with some guys that used to hang out in the stream, and it was all right, but it wasn't great. There wasn't much to do. I didn't really feel that vibe to it. And so I sort of said, yeah, it's not for me, moved on. And then we tried it, like I say, about 4 months ago. And what sort of struck me was that every day it was a different vibe, right? Because it sticks in my mind like the sort of fun I used to have back in the day with DayZ. Did you ever play DayZ?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Each day you log on and it's a different session. You're starting scratch, and what's today going to bring? What's going to happen? And that's how Sea of Thieves feels. So you're sitting on, you go off doing whatever you're doing, and then who are you going to encounter? What shenanigans are you going to get up to? Are you going to get into this crazy battles, or are they going to be new players that you're going to go and help out? Or are you? We had a guy on Thursday that we ended up sinking like 3 times, and on 2 times earlier, and on the 3rd time we saw him, we said, "Oh, we can't sink you now." So we went across and we gave him some loot. No, we stole some of his loot. We just said, "We got to tax you. We're not going to sink you, but we got to tax you." Right? You got pirates, pirates, tax collectors. So we're not going to tax you. Sorry, we're not going to still sink you, but we'll tax you. So I took some of his items, and then we hooked him up because there's a ford of the dam, which takes a whole bunch of setup. You need to get these lantern colors and a big setup. So we had already done the setup, but we didn't want to do it. So we said, why don't you take the colors, these lantern colors, and you can go do it. We even gave him the item you need to start it up. So we gave it to him. Off we went. Later on, we were about to wrap up. We were just going off to sell. And we had another one of these skulls that is the key to that fort thing. And so we thought, we'll go off and give him another one so he can do it twice, because it's really lucrative, the thing. And he was all set. We set him up for it. By that stage, he was running an open crew, which means, public players can just join his game. So as we're swimming across with the extra skull to give him, his crewmates started shooting us. We're like, hold on. We know this guy, relax. Anyway, so they shot us, they killed us. And I was like, I'm so disappointed in you. I was just like, you were the chosen one. Anyway, they started chasing us. We ended up having this massive sea battle, and we ended up sinking him again. And we got him over. Now he's part of the community. He's on our stream. He was on Discord and everything. He popped across. But that whole interaction, and you don't know what you're going to get, and you sort of make your own fun. That's what the game is. That's where its strong part, its strong suit is.
Okay. And as far as like, let's talk about your community. Really,
Again?
let's talk about your community. Like,
yeah.
How what is the dynamic? Like, are you guys like, is it super tight, close knit? Is it crazy, chaotic? Like, what's the vibe if you were to describe your community?
It's pretty close knit. It's funny because there's people who have been there longest, and it's pretty Aussie in that we insult each other. It's just how Aussies are. Like, if I like you, I'm gonna abuse you.
So no sensitive folks.
Well, there are some, but we don't. It's obviously all good-hearted and just fun type stuff. It's nothing terrible. But some people see that and they go, well. But you have people who are there, and then after a week or two, they sort of chime in and give a little bit as well. But it takes a while for people to sort of get to that point. But the good thing is, once they are at that point, it's a lot closer a community than you normally would have with people. So I've got people that have been with me for 3-4 years now.
Whoa.
So and and you got people coming in, and they're there every day. And you learn about them, what they do, the sort of shit they're going through. And it's hard to keep track of everyone, but I do my best, and we've got the Discord as well. And, you get a sense, like I said before, you get a sense of the people. You get a sense of who they are. They know me because I'm the one doing all the talking, but I try and know them as best as I can as well. And you pick up little details of whatever they say during their day. You got people who are at school. You got people who are working. We got a young fella in our stream, which everyone loves to give him a bit of a hassle. We got other people who are into their tech and just coming in, like Firefighter, who was here earlier, popped in. He loves his Google tech. So everyone's, does it have Wi-Fi 6? Every time he says anything, does it have Wi-Fi 6, Firefighter, that sort of stuff. So he's got different personalities, and it's both ways. It's not just, I really see it as a community as opposed to people come to watch me. It's like, no, we come to hang out. And so it's definitely that vibe, that back and forth, that community feel. And that's what I was going for. And that's what we've built,
Okay. No, and when it comes to like building communities, like it's, I really feel like no matter what you're doing, whether you're streaming, you're making YouTube videos, whatever it is, community is essential because that's where your growth is. And it's not, I'll say this, it's not easy. I got a lot of people in my community that are watching right now, and they are some fucking savages, but I love you guys. Well, my community is not for the faint of heart because they will roast the fuck out of me. Especially, I have one person I interviewed beginning of the year, and she I think she's like either the same age as me or a year older than me, and she's like, "Uh, you got a baby face." I swear to God, that has stuck with me.
Yeah.
They still do it. I'm like,
okay. There's a baby face. Okay. So, yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of everyone's just watching you like a hawk, waiting for you to say something so they can clip it and go, "Ha, we got you now." Yeah, it's as long as it's all in good fun, right?
See, triple three HLO.
Yeah, baby face. There you go. Yeah. Or whatever, baby face. Yeah, it's,
right.
But that sort of it. When you hang out with your friends, right? What are you doing? You're just shit talking and ribbing each other. That's what it is. So if people are comfortable enough to give you that, give shit to you, right? Then that's good because you've made friends. You got a real connection with people, as opposed to how's the game? Yeah, it's good, cool, right? Which is the generic sort of stuff. But where you know what they're doing in their life, what what they're going through. You know, they know what you're doing, and you know, everyone knows my pigeon story now. So you know, there's that connection, and people come back. People come back because they've made a connection with you. You know, instead of yeah, he was playing that game. Who cares? You know.
Yeah.
So it's all about connections. It's just like making friends in real life. Yeah. It's the same sort of deal. It's just on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
That's my take.
So audience, we're in the Q&A section, and after that, we're going to wrap it up. Drop your questions if you have any. Oh, I see one from Dari Sensei. He says, are there any golden rules for social media?
Don't say anything that's going to come back and bite you in the ass down a track. That's about it. I'm not very good with social media. I don't generally like it. It's weird considering what I do. I'm a pretty private person, which doesn't make any sense, but I am. And so when it comes to social media, it's more, I'm more careful with what I say on social media versus what I say on Twitch. On Twitch, I pretty much share openly near enough anything. But I don't like, for some reason, I feel that Twitter is a little bit different. It's a different audience.
Yeah. So
it's more of a public audience, whereas the Twitch channel is my house. You know, it's my space. Yeah. So even though it's public anyway, but there's a different vibe, different dynamic. So just don't say anything that you're going to regret later on.
Yeah, because they will literally hang you over some of the dumbest shit you say.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and I want to know if you feel this way, because for me, I'm very, because we have to be public in a sense on social media. We have to be public, but at the same time, I feel like, and if I'm wrong, correct me. I feel like you're similar to me in that we're very, very, very selective about what we're publicly sharing, and it's almost never personal. Or half the time it's not personal. It's just random shit we see, random thoughts, blah, blah, blah. But even that's selective. Like for me, I kind of keep my personal shit separated off of social media. I'll talk about stuff openly on streams, but like when it comes to Twitter or Instagram or any of that, like when I see all this drama, which I don't understand why there's so much goddamn drama with streamer Twitter. It's so fucking stupid.
It's so it's shit. I hate it. I can't even be bothered with it anymore. It's nonstop. Like this week, what have we had in just this week? We had all the DMCA shit and all the stupid stuff as a result. And then dumbass over here with his freaking, licensed games bullshit. This is nonstop. Mm-hmm. There's no break. And it's, and then you'll see the generic shit on Twitter that does my head in as well. Oh, guess what? You're awesome. Shut up. Right? That sort of, those generic bullshit, just engagement farming crap. And then you got the other ones where you've got some dickhead. But now you get me going.
Generic farming.
That's what
Tell
it
us
is.
how you feel, man.
And then you got the other dickheads who come out and say, you know what, I'm going to do it on my phone. I'm going to go, yep, how you doing? Yep. So if you're a new streamer, make sure you do this and do that and yeah. And then you go back and you realize that these motherfuckers have view-botted to get to where they are. Now they're giving advice. Shut the fuck up. I see you.
Ooh, that's what I wanted to touch on, because I remember you tweeted about that. It's so fucking true.
There's one person, I know he did it because he told me he did it. He told me. It's not like I'm guessing that he did it. This dickhead told me that he did it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's out trying to give advice. Shut up. You've lost all rights to that. There's no redemption. You've lost all rights. Shut your mouth. Right? I won't say your name, but you shut up. Don't try and help people when you cheated to get to where you are. So that just boils my blood. It really does. So because people work hard and you cheated. So if you're proud of that, good, but shut your fucking mouth, You don't have the right to give anyone advice because you didn't do that. You didn't do the hard yards. You didn't go through it. You cheated. You shut up. You've lost all rights at that.
Yep. There's a lot of that. I've noticed, especially, the tweets that people put out, the generic bullshit with, oh, you're awesome. You're amazing today. I believe in you. All this other God,
Engagement farming, you know? That's all that
that's
is.
all it did.
And that's why I don't do it. I can't be bothered with it. I don't care. Like, I don't have a big Twitter following, and I just don't care. Because what's the point of having this freaking Twitter following that doesn't help? It's fake. It's bullshit. I don't have time for bullshit. I'm just too old for this shit. You know, I'm just too old for this shit.
It feels like I've kind of noticed this. A lot of people put your value or your worth. They think your worth is based off of how many followers you have or likes and retweets. I'm like, this shit's so fake. You can buy all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It means nothing. You know, the thing that I value is the connections I make with my community. I've made, like I say, it all comes down to that. Right? I've made real connections with real people, not just fake bullshit engagement that is irrelevant. Or I've made engagement around something that if it goes away, then, you know, like I've got friends here who, if I stop streaming tomorrow, I'd probably, you know, would still stay in touch and you know, catch up and all that stuff. And there's a different approach. You can either go for pure numbers, brute force numbers. I don't care what they are, who they are, or you can go for something that's more meaningful, more real. You know, gives you. I'd much prefer what I have than just having bulk. I mean, I love to have bulk numbers, but with the same vibe. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I'd love to be able to pay all the bills and shit, but different story.
You're over here missing that IT money. Trust me, I understand.
I know. Yeah, you know, exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
So, you know what I've noticed, the people that, and this is so funny, the Twitch streamers that do the YouTube videos where they're giving advice on how to grow on YouTube or grow on Twitch. Watch that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, we've had so many talks about this shit. It's so fucking funny because it's
I can't watch that shit, man. I get angry. I can't watch it. Shut up. Go on.
You notice that certain key people, every time there's some Twitch drama on Twitter, there they are.
Yeah.
They just inject themselves in it. And I'm like, why?
Engagement farming. I'm relevant because people know my name. Yep, good for you. I don't give. Fuck off. Yeah, you're right, man. It's like a bubble of shit. I've been thinking of just deleting Twitter, getting rid of everyone I follow, and then just follow people that I'm interested in that aren't streamers, right? And then I won't have this whole bullshit narrative of Twitch Twitter, because Twitter sucks. You know, it's constant.
I kind of want to do that too. I've been thinking about that because I think I've slowly started removing myself from a lot of Twitch streamers, and especially, oh dude, this happened this week. Okay, so there's a cancellation attempt on my wife this week.
Oh, serious? Why wouldn't it be?
And it's because she asked the question, and it was because, you know, AOC, she streamed on Twitch. And it was not, her question was not an attack on AOC. It was an attack of, wait, it's her first stream, and within her stream she got a check mark.
Yeah. It was before the stream.
Yeah, oh yeah, before the stream. So it was more of a question of like, why, you know, of course, yeah, she's a public figure, she's a government official, but it's more or less like going back to the question of Twitch's inconsistency of how they do things. So she's literally just asking a question. And because she asked the question, and I'm getting heated by this because this shit was, and my wife she's not an aggressive person.
Yeah.
At all. But it's a situation where she asked the question, and another motherfucker that never talks to her or me, never engages on any tweets, never comes to streams, never does anything, popped up to correct her. And basically it was how dare you question this? And she's like, well, I'm trying to understand. So because she questioned, then all these other people from the Cookout and all these other identity politics type groups and social justice groups and all that, they started dogpiling on and attacking my wife just for asking a question.
Yeah.
And it just kept going and going. I told my wife, mute the thread or delete it. Just stop. And these people, and it's so funny because they were dogpiling on her. They're all Twitch streamers. Hell, one of them is a fellow AverMedia partner. That shit got on the skin. And it's like they just kept going and going and going and going. And I'm over here thinking, why? She just asked a question.
Yeah.
And you're dogpiling on her. And then you have in your bio, accepting, compassionate, all the other shit. I can't fuck with streamer Twitter. I can't.
I hear, man. I hear. I saw that tweet. I didn't look at the comments of it, but yeah. It's like, who cares? Like, it's an echo chamber of dumbass is what it is. It's what it is. Like, people who have fucking no idea are asking people who have no idea for advice, and they're going, fuck if I know, but they're giving the advice, and they're going, sweet. And it's this echo chamber of dumb just spreading around. Like, the blind leading the blind, and just the amount of misinformation and just bullshit that's being spread around on Twitter, around streaming, obviously everything else as well, but just around streaming, it's all just, I just look at it and go, I can't anymore. I just don't even engage with it anymore because Twitter loves it because it's engagement. They're just going to pump more ads in front of your face. So they love that stuff. They don't give a shit if you're going insane reading this crap, as long as you're still there. So I've backed away from it a fair bit, because it does my head in, and it's not good for you. It's not good for the brain.
No, it's really not. And I see it too with dealing with people in the gaming industry, like these PR people. I literally have to just mute them. I've muted so many people because they go on these tirades, they get on these high horses, they go on these political rants, and I'm over here like, are PR requests open for this game? Because that's the only reason I'm following you.
I'm all for people expressing themselves, and if the problem is when you're using a work account for a personal account, like that shit should be separate,
Yes.
But I have no problem with people expressing themselves, but I just don't have to engage with it. You can say whatever the hell you want, just keep it to yourself. You can keep it over there. I don't want to see it. I'm just backing away from it because there's no way out of it. Like if you're on the platform, you're going to end up seeing it sooner or later. It's going to hit you because it's everywhere.
True. Okay, so we got a questions left. Gigosh says, cam or no cam for streaming? Any tips on that?
Depends what kind of stream. It depends what site you're on. No, joking.
You want a cam for OnlyFans?
There you go. So I for me, I rarely would click on a stream without a camera. Some people do. Personally, I don't. And the reason, like I said, everything I do on the platform is about connection. If I can't see you, it's very hard for me to connect with you. So I can't get a sense, face reactions and stuff to things in game when you're laughing. That's how, you tie in with people. And so I would recommend it because you're pretty much blocking an avenue that people can connect with you. Do people do well without them? Yeah. Would I click on channels without them? Very rarely. Do others? Yep. So, that's my rationale for it, is that people can see your face, they can see you react to things that's happening in game, and that's another avenue. When I'm laughing my ass off, people see that, they see it's genuine, right? And they feel closer as a result. So you don't have to, but keep that in mind.
True. Dark Sensei says, is it good to build on multiple platforms?
It is if the content is different, right?
Yeah.
So if you're, like we said before, if you're restreaming to YouTube gaming and Facebook or whatever, YouTube, Facebook and Twitch, it's the same audience. Whereas if you're taking your Twitch streams and cutting them up, you have to edit them. into videos and instead of just dumping a VOD, that's for a different audience. So then you can put those on YouTube, and then you have that as a different audience. But if you're just taking your whole VOD and putting it on YouTube, you're not going to do anything with that. So yeah, if your content is different platforms, have at it. That's what I do. I mean, I don't have as much time as I would like to for YouTube videos, because the editing. I was about to do one last week. I started editing. I used to use Adobe Premiere. I still sort of do. And then I thought I'll use DaVinci Resolve. I've heard good things. Works well apparently. So start editing. I'm 8 minutes into an edit, right? And if you're 8 minutes into an edit, you're almost done. And then it crashed. Yeah, because my first time using it, I called, no worries, it's crashed. I'll go back to the autosave. Will be, I'll carry on. Autosave, no autosave. So the by default, the autosave setting isn't on. So I found it, I turned it on, and I said, you know what, I can't restart this, because to get to the 8-minute video, you've edited for like 3 hours. So I don't know why I hadn't saved it at that point, but anyway, lesson learnt. So
damn,
that's why my last YouTube videos are delayed, because I'm slacking.
Jeez. No, and that's something else I think a lot of people may not understand, like for you and I, is time. Our time is very, very limited because we have so many commitments, be it streaming, or YouTube or whatever. Like, I've even had to more recently apologize to my audience for just not being around as much. And that's just, and I've said, like, I've just been busy. Like, within the last 2.5 to 3 months, the podcast has just picked up. I'm doing 7 a week, and a few of them live. And it's at a point where it's like, where's my priority? Is it podcasting, or is it going to be streaming or putting out a YouTube review? And I'm like, well, every door for me, an avenue has opened from podcasting. So that's where my attention has to go. And I understand that, because I've noticed, like, when I upload the podcast, like the video versions of podcasts on YouTube don't do very well. They're not even within the stratosphere of what it does in audio format, but it's still part of my portfolio of work. It's still there. And I understand, like, I've actually gotten a couple complaints this week, like, oh, are you uploading your podcast? You're not, are you going to do reviews? Or are you going to do regular streams? And I'm like, I'll get to it, but this is what's paying the bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And that's how I am with YouTube. Like, I'd want to do it, but I can't afford to get an editor, which would be able to smash that video out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Because the videos aren't making any money on YouTube. Like, they make 10 cents. So, and then you got to do it yourself, because if they paid for themselves, even if they were neutral, like, you pay for a video, and then it makes that money back, even if it doesn't make a profit. Who cares, right? It's content and it builds up. But I can't do it at the moment, and there's no time. It's always something, You're trying to tweak your stream. Then I've had technical issues, and when you have those things break on you, it's nonstop. Then you got to have time for yourself, and you end up pushing yourself so hard, and you end up getting fatigued mentally and drained, and then your stream suffers if you let it get that point, because you got to have that people come to see that show. They don't. So it plays on you, because, and all the while, you're barely scraping by financially. And so you got all these you got all of these pressures on you, and you can't let it show too much, because then people go, well, whatever, you're just whinging, So it's tough, but you just got to, do what you can when you can without pushing yourself into the ground, I reckon, because it's very easy to go too hard and just bury yourself.
Yeah. That's been me this week. I've literally this entire week, with the exception of today, and a good portion of last week, I've gone off 2 hours of sleep a day because I've been pushing myself to put out more podcasts. I'm trying to get all these reviews that need to be done. I'm trying to fulfill whatever the paid partnerships I have. I'm trying to prioritize that over everything else because I'm like, I got to make that money.
Yep.
That's, it's, and then trying to, juggle out, my wife's pregnant. This is her first pregnancy. I've been through it before, but this is the first one with her first. I need to be there for her. It's hard. It's a hard juggle. And then trying to not neglect my audience because I don't want them feeling like I'm just like, oh, Mikhail's like, fuck you. I'm not trying to be like that. It's just, it's hard.
Yeah, it's a juggle. Yeah, you're getting pulled in every direction, trying to make everyone happy, and you can't. So you gotta. No, I don't have the answer, mate. It's a tough juggle, like you say.
So Lehua says, what are your best practices to connect with your community when talking with the community? What are topics?
What topics do you like to discuss? Okay. Yeah.
All right.
For me, I'll tell people what I'm doing. We start, every day. If there's something in the news, we'll talk about that. If there's, especially around tech and streaming and things like that, we'll talk about, we go into that. If there's the coronavirus updates, any major changes in that, talk about that. Anything that I'm doing myself, the pigeon war, talk about that. Just topics of the day, really. And then whatever people want to ask me, if they have questions for me, I'll answer them. And then I ask them, what are you doing? Who's doing what? And then somebody will say something, and away we go with that discussion. And then we just sit around, just general, like you talk to your friends. It's not structured in any way at all. I don't have any pre-planned questions or anything. So some days the conversation takes off and away we go. Other days it's pretty dead and go, all right, let's get into the games. So I don't have a set, we're doing this for an hour. I don't have that. It ranges from an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes it goes as far as 2 hours, other times it's half an hour. Just depends on, like the last week it was pretty quiet. There wasn't anything to talk about. So there was no tech news, there was no gaming news, there was no news. And it was like, okay, well, anybody else got anything? And then we just moved on. Just go with the flow.
Okay.
Free
All
flow,
right.
Free form.
Okay. So I got the most important question for you.
Go on in.
Where's that? Did you get your hands on the 3080?
No. Who's got money for no 3080? They don't exist. I ain't got no money for a 3080. They don't even exist. Speaking of, apparently, this is totally just gonna be a bit tech for a second. Okay. The new AMD cards, the Radeons, there was a leak today that said they outperformed the 3080 in DirectX 11 games.
Really?
By like 20 odd %. And then they're even in DirectX 12, but they dropped by about 20% in ray tracing stuff, which is no surprise. So if they're true, NVIDIA's got a competitor on their hands, which is going to be good for everybody. That's the rumors. And if you can get them, that'd be great too, because you can't get the NVIDIA ones, can you?
Yeah, so that's the thing for me is I feel like AMD, they're hungry to take some of that share that NVIDIA has.
Mm-hmm. They've been slacking for many, many years. So they've got the CPU division, right? They've lifted their game. They were lacking for a while, and now they're pushed Intel. But the graphics side, not so much. But now, if this is true, if these rumors are true, okay, maybe they have pulled their finger out, because I've had crap cards. They've just been, ticking along by with the budget version of the cards for years now. So if they can actually compete at the flagship level, good. It's going to be better for everyone. Because they sure as hell have done it on the CPU side. The AMD CPUs, you're hard pressed to recommend an Intel CPU today, right? So.
Indeed. So, Jim, is there anything you want to leave the audience with before we go?
Nah, leave me alone. Go out. Go and get. Go check us out on the Twitch stuff. What is it? You got you got the stuff. You know where it is. Backyardis. You click on the thing. Do the stuff.
Yeah.
And my
telling you guys.
Yeah, the bot. Listen to the bot and the YouTubes as well. I might have a video one day if I cannot figure out autosave. I'm the best promoter. I'll promote the hell out of myself. They see. That's one thing I can't do. I'm not very good at self promoting. This is just side tangent. You know, I don't know about you. This is next minute, half an hour extra. Sorry.
Go for it. Go for it.
I said to my community after I got the Sea of Thieves partnership, like it's a big milestone, and it was something I was working towards and was looking forward to it. And then I got it, and then it was like cool. I don't allow myself to celebrate the wins. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're like that, but I don't like. I couldn't really get like I was happy, but it wasn't like holy shit, man, that was amazing. It's like yeah, good next. You know, I don't allow myself to celebrate the wins. It's something wrong with me. I think. I don't know if you're like that. If you're always like, all right, cool, that's a milestone next.
That's exactly how I am.
All right. And then I realized that the Sea of Thieves partnership was something that I worked hard for, and you know, finally got there, and it was like cool. But that was about the level of enthusiasm. Like I was very happy, but I was like, all right, cool, next. You know, like man, you got to stop and you got to celebrate some of these things. You got to actually let yourself freaking, you know, accept that. Yeah, you did something cool here. I don't know. I got to work on that. Anyway.
So I say that I have imposter syndrome. I was actually doing that today, and I know I was getting on Lehu's nerves. So today I got partnered with StreamYard, the platform we were using.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't apply for it or anything like that. It kind of shocked me, and I was excited, and then it passed. Same thing with me being partnered with Avery Media. It's awesome. There are times when shit like that happens. In my head, and I think this is because this is part of the toxicity of being on fucking Twitter all the goddamn time. I have imposter syndrome in the sense of I look at the fact that there are people who have higher engagement. So when a company partners with me, StreamYard, Avery Media, I've got I might be partnered with Voodoo Ranger. I like their beer. I'm cool with their guy. So it's like when when companies reach out to me or they want to work with me, in my head I'm thinking, why me? Because I don't have the engagement of someone like with Avery Media. There is a shit ton of people not a shit ton. There's a lot of people in the partner program, and they're all like, they've got high engagement on tweets and shit, or with their streams. And I'm over here like, man, I don't pull that. Why are you working with me?
Well, yeah. I know what you're saying, and I sometimes I think that way, but it's I don't think you can let yourself get caught up in that, you know, because if you do, you'll just self-sabotage, right?
It's yeah.
Like the thing is, because even that I don't celebrate them, and it's not that I don't appreciate them or anything like that. Like I just don't celebrate it and don't allow myself to be over the top with those sort of things. But I still actively seek them out, right? So you actively reached out to, right? So you're actively doing it. And then if they see value in what you're doing, then great. But then, so yours is a little bit different to mine, where like we still actively seek them out. And then I go, cool, I got that. But then I just can't be happy about it. Or I can't allow myself to celebrate that. I don't know. It's hard to explain. So I celebrate and go, yeah, we did it. And then, all right, cool, moving on. That's so weird. No, I gotta see a therapist or something. Like I can't put into words exactly what I'm trying to say, you know. It's very, yeah, the moment is fleeting. And then we're off to the next target. Yeah, expectations. See, that's what it is.
No, because I understand how you're feeling about that. You know, there's a lot of things that I've achieved, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, this is awesome, and then that moment's just gone. All right, I got to keep going, because I feel like for a lot of us, for a lot of people, I think they would be able to stay and relish that moment, but for us, I think because of the nature of the industry we're in, you got to keep moving.
Yeah, and you can have a massive win one day, and then the very next day, you have something that will throw you off, and you go, "Holy crap! Is this even? Am I even doing this? Should I still continue to do this?" So you just had a massive win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're doubting whether or not you should pull the pin on the entire thing, like the very next day, like, and that's the swings of such a fickle industry. You know, it's that. It can swing that quickly within a day. You can have one massive win one day, and the next day you go, you know what? I probably should quit this. Right? You been there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this on one of my last streams. It's like being a streamer, a creator, the toll it takes on you mentally. Because you're having a mental battle every fucking day.
Yeah.
And it's like Twitter doesn't help.
No. Yeah. And that's the thing. You got to remember, sometimes you need a reality check, and then you go look at these people who are getting these bullshit engagements and on Twitter. Then you go look at what their real product is, their streams, for example. And then you go, that's all right, I got this. You know what I mean? Sometimes the reality check, because you like Instagram, it's all that fake, you know. Yeah. It's all fake and manufactured and, just curated bullshit on all those social media platforms. Then you go, and you can get great engagement, but does it translate to anything that's real? And the problem, and most of the time, it doesn't. So you can easily get in your own head and be disheartened by it all. So you just,
I recently got told by, because as you know, I'm mixed, Polynesian and Black, and I recently got told by a fellow Black streamer that I need to start playing into my race to get stuff, to get opportunities, and I'm just like, because I see a lot of that. I see a lot of them doing that. And then a lot of them will talk about how they don't have opportunities. They don't get, disenfranchised, this and this. I know that's a whole nother topic. But I see a lot of that. And then I go and see sponsored by, got this. Look, I got sent this is. I'm like, and then I look at myself and I'm like, I don't ever use my race or anything. I just use me as a person. I reach out. I work for everything I have. I've worked for. And then I'm looking at these people who don't do that. And I was talking to my friend and my wife about that this week. And I feel like maybe there's, I don't know if it's jealousy. Maybe it's resentment to the fact that I don't do that. And I may not have as much as them, but I still get opportunities. But they play a certain card and they get everything they want. I don't know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. And it's I when that happens for me, and I think, I could probably do that, and I'd do it better because I'm a better person than that fucking scumbag. Right? Yeah. This is me not talking on your thing, but right.
I endorse it, so it's fine.
But then I would lose my integrity. Yeah. Right. And then I'd be like, I did that, and I cheesed it and I got it. But now, everything I've worked for, I'm proud of, because it was me, just pure freaking hard work. Half the shit I've done is ass backwards, right? But still, I got there. As opposed to trying to cheese a system or do, some dodgy shit like that. And at least I can have that, if I may not get all the stuff that those people do, but at least I can say that I did my shit with integrity and screw that, And that's worth more. Fuck it.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
Anything else?
That's
it's your
it.
show.
Nah, man, let's wrap this up. People got to go to bed, yo.
All right. So, with that being said, guys, make sure you follow Jim on Twitch. All his links and everything. I've already got the bot dropping it, and I'll redrop it myself. Lihua, you there? Go ahead and do the shout out. Thank you, everyone who's come through. And social media links are for Jim. Backyardis is going to be here in the description below. If you're watching this on replay, you're watching it on the VOD, it'll be in the description. If you're watching it on YouTube, it'll be in the description. And if you're listening to it, you can catch this episode of the podcast and many others on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. I sound like a broken record. Yes, I know. iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, and more. So with that being said, this is Jim and I, Backyardis and I. We are signing out. We hope y'all have a good one. We hope y'all learned something and enjoyed it. And that being said, we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope it was informative, engaging, and you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you go ahead and leave a rating and a review. It greatly helps out the podcast and helps the platforms that we're on go ahead and promote us more so that more people can check it out. And if you're wondering what all platforms we're on, aside from what you've listened to it on, we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. And if you want to support the podcast, then we've got Patreon, so patreon.com/Mikhail Kasanova, which allows us to continue doing what we're doing. If you're looking for this in video format, we're also available on twitch.tv/Mikhail Kasanova, as well as youtube.com/Mikhail Kasanova. So with all that being said, I'll catch you on the next episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast and the #1 podcast in the Pacific, the Kasanova Podcast. You have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.